Hello, Frenzy Knots. Oh my gosh. It's episode 48.
48.
And I did not say, I can't believe it's episode 48. How did we get here? I didn't do it this time. I just did it.
It's because Bobby's not here this time. That's why you didn't say it.
That's right. But okay, so folks, if you're tuning in to Toy Frenzy tonight, Bobby will be here. He's just running a little bit late. And Adam and Shawn send their apologies. They cannot be here tonight. But you know who we do have here tonight? We have Emerald Knight Photos as our guest tonight. We're going to talk about toy photography. And I don't know about you guys, but talking about toy photography makes me really excited. I'm stoked to have this conversation tonight. And I'm stoked to have you here, Emerald Knight Photos. Can we call you John?
Yeah, you can call me John. Appreciate the invite. Appreciate coming on.
John here, yeah. So Oz, how's it going?
It's going good, man. Had a good week so far. Almost to the weekend. And I will be making my triumphant return to my own channel this weekend. We got something brewing up in the works. I've been in some talks with Brick today, like 5 seconds worth. It's an ongoing conversation. So. Yeah, we'll have a little something coming up for this weekend. But yeah, definitely excited to be back. Man, 48 episodes. Wow.
So I just got on, you know how Facebook sends you like you posted this a year ago or you posted this 2 years ago or whatever. I just got a post popping up in my feed today saying memories. That's what it's called, right? Memories. Yep. And it said, it was me sending it out to the Facebook universe. Would anybody, if anybody's getting a $1, would you be willing to go live on my channel with me and talk about $1 origins? And so I know, we know, Oz, our 1 year anniversary is upon us. And actually, if you want to know, it's today. Yep. Well, actually, it's the 14th, but it's today. Today would technically be our anniversary show, but we're pushing it to the 1 year anniversary show to the 50th show, which will be in 2 weeks. So
2 weeks
time. Isn't that crazy?
1 year, man. Wow. You know, and it's all because of Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread He-Man.
That's right. It's all about the bread.
Got to get that loaf.
That's hilarious. Okay, I'm going to write that in the hashtag. All right. You know, talk while Grandpa types.
Sure, of course. Well, Emerald Knight. John, you were actually one of the very first guests I ever brought onto my channel.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was just kind of doing the solo thing for a while, and I was like, I want to spice it up a little bit this weekend, and I approached you about coming on and talking up toy photography, because you were also one of the very first, you're one of my very first patrons, and, you know, one of the first of the larger group of the frenzied that it has become.
Oh, yeah. John's been there from the beginning, man, and we really appreciate your patronage, obviously, but you know, your contributions to the conversations that we have in our Instagram chats, and of course your art, man. And I can't wait to talk about that with you.
Oh no, it was. I mean, I support you guys. You know, I mean, I think I caught on to. I think Oz. I first saw you with Mega J. I think you were doing a watch along for the Masters of the Universe '87 film, because it was right before my birthday last September, and I was I had just finished watching. I just binged through Cobra Kai, and then I saw that y'all were doing a watch along. So I was like, oh, that seems pretty cool. Like, I mean, I was, you know, it was coming up on the anniversary for the movie and everything, so I was watching y'all you know, Masters '87. So I thought that was like, oh, that's pretty, you know, this Oz guy's pretty cool. I mean, he's pretty knowledgeable. He kind of knows what's going on. So
oh yeah.
So for me, that was like my gateway into the frenzy was watching you you know, comment and, you know, do a little commentary on the film.
Yes. Yeah.
That was a really, really fun live stream to do. And you know, Mega J is always an amazing host, and you know, the way he put it together as a slideshow, not quite the whole movie, but just enough of the frames that you were really able to follow through the whole event. And that was great because, you know, for copyright reasons, we can't actually do a watch along like that.
Yeah.
And it was timed with, he said, okay, everybody, let's go. And it was timed with everybody's, everybody viewing if they were watching it too live.
Yeah. That was that was a lot of fun. We got to get back to doing something like that again real soon.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So shall we go through the chat and see who's here, who's with us tonight?
Definitely. We'll run through the chat. I've got another My Buddy's Customs intro pulled up to read through here. And let's see what we can do. All right. I'm going to click them and highlight and roll. Henri83, first in the house. We've got Cobweb as well. Brick Something is here this evening. Thank you for being here, brother.
Yes.
Nolan, always here with us. The Thanos Copter himself. Amazing and excellent. And scrolling down here, we have Eternian Lips in the house. Good to have you here, Sir Clifton. Sin City 30 has joined us this evening.
Welcome.
Absolutely amazing to have you here. Thank you. And let's see, we're going to keep on scrolling here. Oh, everybody cringes when I say it, but Speaking Moistly is in the house.
Moistly's here. That's awesome. I almost want to just change Speaking Moistly's, give him a nickname, Moistly. Moistly's here.
You just call him Moisty. Just drop the L. Moisty.
Yeah.
Brick's mentioning that quick but deep conversation. Absolutely. Yes. So here we go. We got Bobby himself letting us know he's at 73%. He'll be on in just a few minutes.
All right, Bobby. That's
excellent. Awesome. Definitely. There's a void left by your lack of presence here tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
We've
got John in the house, figuratively speaking. Also wanted to pick out Sin City Cindy saying she has been here with us since the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely true. There's quite a few people in the chat that have been here from the start.
It's so true.
Yeah. Oh, and let me see. Whoop, we got Rock Out with the Gotta Get That Loaf. And also Ronald Embry.
Oh, good to see you.
Always good to have him here. Skelly's name twin. We got Dawning of the Decade in the house as well joining us. Excellent to have you here. And there he is. The legend himself, Eldor, in the house. Good to have you. All right, guys. Cool. I think that about caught us up. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I will try to pull you up later.
Well, shall we do Bud's intro?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, we got one more just coming in real late here. Oh, wait, we got a couple more late appearances. Mr. Home Arcade himself joining in.
Good to see you.
Great to have you here, brother. And like I say, I'm going to keep saying it every time we do a show. I can confirm that is his voice.
I believe it.
It is? Oh, wow.
Good to see you.
And we have Aaron in the house with us as well, saying, evening, guys. Rarely get the chance to watch live. And he's very happy about it. So excellent to have you here. Thank you for catching us live.
Fantastic.
All right, let's roll through this incredible, he takes the time to write these out each week, and they're always fun. And then I end up throwing them up as I read them here.
Yeah.
Before we start tonight's episode, I want to take a moment out for two of our community members. First, I would like to talk about our dear friend, Masterversal Toy Hunter, or better known as Eldor. Eldor suffered from a loss of the family this week. His dear grandfather has passed on from this world. Eldor, over the past week or two, has kept us informed on his illness as we wished him well and prayed for him. I saw a post of Eldor's on Facebook where he showed us his grandfather and how he himself is also an artist. While he is no longer with us, his talents, which are passed down to his grandson, still shine and give us wonder. So if we could take a moment of silence for him and bid a good journey to Papa Eldor. All right. And now I would like to wish a swift recovery to our Mistress of the Darkness, our Duchess of Nightmares, Duchess herself, who recently was in a car accident. And Duchess will be taking some time away from her amazing story revivals to properly heal. Yeah. And we wish you the swiftest of recoveries. We are all here if you get bored and are in need of someone to talk to or need a laugh. You are an important member of our community, and we wish you the best. Also, Bud's words here. Also, feel free to crack the whip on Bobby and to get you anything that you need. So, there's that. All right. On to the next one. Old tuning radio sounds. I'm just going to say it because we don't have Shawn here to make it. Oh, there we go.
Is that good?
That's good.
That's all I got.
Good enough, man. Welcome back, Frenzy Knots, to another exciting episode of Toy Frenzy. As always, we welcome our Skelevaderites, Ozholes, Bobby's Blushers, Skavarniaks, and Battle Rammers. Coming off the hot episode 100.12 of Legends of Grayskull podcast. It is Dr. Skelevader, the Sculpting Mayhem. I want you all to know it said to sing that Legend of Grayskull thing, and I'm sorry. After you listen to one of Jeremy DeWitt's intros, you can't sing those intros.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Traveling around the podverse in 72 hours, the mythic man himself, it's Ostradamus Toys. Brooding and silent, but mention vintage, and he's as perky as ever. The seed of destruction. It's beautiful, blushing Bobby Motu. Oh, God, I almost didn't want to read this next one.
You don't have to.
Slippery when wet and ready to bust a move. It's everyone's favorite funny uncle, the one, the only. It's Shawn Skavarna. Keeping a watchful eye over the streets, serving factual justice and blurbs of Motu knowledge upon the criminally misinformed. It's Battle Ram Blogs, Adam.
We missed you guys. Sorry you couldn't be here tonight.
I know. I like giving you guys the intro, even though you're not actually here with us, because it helps. It keeps the presence here. That's you know, right. After that intro for Shawn, all I can see is truffle shuffle all over.
Oh, man.
Hide your kids and hide your wife. These Motu photos are saucy. This week's special Patreon shout-out is to one very explicit member, Thanos Copter. If you like these little shout-outs and a little extra stuff we do over here, head on over to patreon.com and sign up for any of our Patreons. For this and many more perks, all Patreons get a thank you card, Toy Frenzy sticker, access to our IG group chat, and random acts of kindness.
That's right.
Discord and access to our after-hours stream on Ostradamus Toys channel, which I will be getting us back to very soon because that was really fun. Signing up for Skelevader's Patreon gets you a custom hand-painted mini canvas of your favorite character, figure, or character figure. Favorite character figure or a character figure of Skelevader's choice. And trust me when I say these are totally worth it, and every one of these have turned out amazing. We also have a merch store over to creatorspring.com and search for Skelevader, where you can find Skelevader and Toy Frenzy merch with lots of sizes to fit all body types. And then it says, but here, I'm a larger man and I approve these sizes.
And the link is right down below, folks. If you're interested in shopping, click on that link. And there's a lot of stuff there. Cups, mugs, t-shirts, hoodies.
Won't get this exact cup because this is a custom I made with that fancy Toy Frenzy sticker slapped right on there. But you can get a cup similar to this. You can get a nice pint glass. They got those on.
Very true. Very true. Oh wait, you know what? While you're doing that, I'm gonna get a picture ready to post.
Definitely. Definitely do that. And on tonight's episode of Toy Frenzy, pop your tripod and mount your cameras because we go into the deep world of photography. Whether it's pop-up displays, handcrafted props, or tricks of the light, this man does it all. And of course, I'm talking about Emerald Night Photos. I gotta remember which side of my screen to point down on there. Let us sit back now and learn about the craft and the man behind the camera. On to you, boys.
Thanks, Bud. As always, your intros are epic. Thank you so much for doing that.
Voice was a little hoarse on this one, but I got through it.
Yeah,
And
you can do it.
I did see we got a couple of other people here in the chat as well. Of course, we got a lot of people, giving shout outs to Duchess here, hoping that she gets well. And I know I saw some shout outs to, trying to find the chats here. Here we go. Some shout outs to our good friend Eldor as well here. So we're all keeping you in our prayers, guys, and hoping you feel better. Oh, Bud's dissatisfied with my reading as usual. Got to keep you on your toes, my friend. All right. And Aaron Payne's toy samples in the house as well. Always want to give him a big shout out doing the toy therapy on Friday nights. So if you're not doing anything, go check it out.
Yep. Yeah, I was on his show. I mean, I did my little round of therapy. It was pretty fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. I've been on there myself, sat down, talked about everything. Guys, from soup to nuts, really. But it's always a fun time just hanging out, talking it out.
Oh, yeah.
Once you end up becoming part of this community that we've built up here with everybody. And I mean, it's not really just like us. Like, you guys have really built the community. We just kind of like facilitated it. But yeah, absolutely. It's really fun to have this like little family feel bouncing across the channels, whether you're watching us here on Toy Frenzy, hanging out on Saturday nights with me, catching a little therapy on Friday, Sunday catching, just shelve it with Jesse, or even catching some off worlds on Fridays with them. I know I just was hanging out with them this past Friday, getting a little off world. And then Skelly turns around and he's on there, doing Legends of Grayskull podcast with the dude Shawn. And that was an amazing episode.
That was a lot of fun.
I mean, it really is. It's just a great community with everybody getting involved, getting it built up, and it just keeps getting bigger. So,
all right. Speaking of the community, our friend Motu Origins Cork sent a picture of him wearing his amazing Mortarhead's Skeletor mask and his white Toy Frenzy hoodie. So Motu Origins Cork, thank you so much for getting that hoodie, and it looks amazing. This is a Toy Frenzy hoodie worn by Skeletor in Ireland, folks. We're worldwide.
I was going to say now. It was the perfect time for Nolan's comment here. From across the globe, we've come together around here, and it's true. Because you got me on the East Coast, Skelly's all the way on the West Coast. So we've got, from coast to coast across the United States. John, you're like smack dab in the middle.
Yeah, I'm down here in Texas, so it's 110-degree weather.
Oh man, it's the same here.
Oh man, our heat index is 110 because of the humidity right now, so we're feeling it across the board. And Nolan and several others are all the way from up in Canada. Motu Origins Cork's over in, of course, Ireland. And I know we have fans in Germany who watch the show and catch it when they can, as well as Danny Phillips right across, in the UK, just skipping away from Ireland. And even when we get like Ray Ken and all in the house, from the Philippines, like we are everywhere. But that's one of the great things about doing this show, doing this YouTube stuff, is that it's global. It go anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's actually like, it's astounding to me. It's so cool. You all watching, you're amazing. And John, you're an integral part of the community. You're amazing too, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this is just mind-boggling and very cool. We're loving every minute of it, and that's all because of you all watching.
Well, I mean, y'all make it easy. I mean, it's just, I mean, really, y'all do. I mean, it's you're inviting, and it's just a warm, it's like a warm blanket. It's just being part of this community and talking toys, talking just or music, whatever it is. I mean, pop culture, just all the stuff we grew up loving, and still enjoy, and just having that that safe spot. There's no toxicity or anything like that. It's just everybody supports each other, and I think that's the great thing. And when people are going through tough times or things are going in their personal lives, we're always there for each other as well, and that's very important. That's a special special feeling.
It's a collecting family.
Exactly.
And Sir Clifton coined that hashtag, and it's awesome, and it matches perfectly our community's the weight of our community, the positive weight of our community.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a heavy hitting community. I love it, and it's all good vibes. And the toxicity is always going to be there. There's always going to be negative Nellies out there, right? It's always going to be there. And I get a little negative. We all get a little negative.
Yeah, we all do.
We were just talking before in the green room. We were talking about the Mondo Prince Adam that's been announced, and my initial reaction was kind of negative because I was like, Mondo usually brings it, like giving their characters a particular edge, and it's exciting, and it's a new way of seeing this character that's combining the old way of seeing the character with a new angle. And I saw the laughing Prince Adam. I was like, oh, come on, Mondo. I know, so that's the level of my negativity, is disappointment, really.
Yeah.
And then, but, again, we always have to be prepared to have that negativity flipped, because as soon as they showed the full body pictures with the actual fabric tights, I was like, okay, that's badass. That's cool. That's really cool. They've done something. They've taken Adam to a really great place, making him look more real. The tights being actual tights. That's so cool.
Yeah, I was impressed right off the bat with when I saw the announcement and saw the pictures. I just thought oh, this is so great. And I know some people I had mentioned I talked to, they just weren't sure if it was is this more Filmation, is it supposed to be more Filmation theme or a new kind of model? I mean, because it kind of like you were saying, Skele, the first Skeletor He-Man that they came out with, that was really that was a complete Mondo original, and then they came back with the I guess the deluxe versions of He-Man, and now the deluxe Skeletor, and those are I like it because it's a good mesh of it's modernized, but then also has those you could tell that's He-Man, that has those classic traits of the characters. And same thing with Adam, and then when I saw the pictures of him with Cringer, I was like, oh gosh, man, it's
I know, it melts the heart, right?
Yeah, and it's I mean, my Battle-Cat's coming in, and it's oh, man, now I may have to get an Adam, so when I have Cringer, he won't be lonely. He'll have Adam there to be with. So
that and this right here, Thanos saying that he thought the Adam was cool, especially the shot of him and Cringer lounging was perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And John, we need to see your take on that photo.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh man, I can't wait for that.
Right. I mean, it's not always easy to get excited. You know what? We were saying lavender tights before, but it's a little bit more periwinkle. I was trying to think of that definitive purple tights. It's really hard to get excited about a guy in periwinkle tights. And yet this Adam, it looks phenomenal. I have never been more excited about a guy in some periwinkle tights with a fur loincloth. It's absolutely amazing. And they even found a way to make a very generic looking vest actually really kind of cool looking, with the addition of just a few buckles and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, it really looks more regal, like he should be
as
a prince. I mean, that's
exactly.
I mean, yeah, you need to have those attributes with that.
The vest or the top you know, I feel like they were trying to go Regal, and I feel it's all right. I almost feel like they should have gone with soft goods with that too, just as a further nod to the vintage figure combined.
Sure.
You know, a little bit of that. You know, because his top was a darker, like a darker, like a purple.
It was almost a maroon,
like burgundy.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Burgundy. Yeah.
And I kind of was. That would be kind of cool, but at the same time. Oh, by the way, you know, when I spoke with the Legends of Grayskull podcast guys, Shawn and the dudes, we talked about like what would really sell this would be if, you know, if it was like a set, you had like a tree that he could lean against and that the cringer could be laying. If he came with like smaller cringer or something, and sure enough, basically the next day, Raul Barrero's photograph is launched by Mondo of Adam, you know, napping with big cute cringer laying on his lap, and that just melted my heart. But yeah, I would have liked to maybe like an optional soft goods top that is a burgundy.
I don't see why they couldn't have just thrown another little extra in there. That wouldn't have been too bad. I mean, and they're giving you quite a bit though. I think it's really funny. We get the masks of power with them. Which is kind of a cool nod for anybody who's into the mini comics. Like, it's really cool that they incorporated those. And I don't know if you guys saw, but recently, Bujaboo, I think that's how you pronounce him on IG, big customizer, he just recently put out the 2 little creatures and the masks themselves, and then he did a couple of custom figures using a Origins Whiplash and an Origins Lords of Power Beastman to create the bigger monstrous versions of the creatures after they put the masks on. So I thought it was kind of cool that we're getting this kind of like officially licensed right after he was like, yeah, I just, you know, was making models of those and putting them out there. Now Mondo's gone and stole my thunder.
No, I think that's cool. You know, we're sure, you know, when the fan community informs the companies, then you know we're doing the good work as fans. You know, and if it goes the other way around, sure. When the companies appear to be stealing ideas from other people, that's always frustrating. But you know, as long as they're contacting the fans that came up with those ideas first and communicating with them, then you know, then I guess that's the way it is. But it's, you know, the creative act should be an exchange between the audience and the creator. Always, it's got to be, right?
That's right.
So did you guys pick up anything exciting this week?
Not this week. No, I did get out there, stop by Random Treasures just to see what they had, and didn't really pick anything up. I almost did though. Almost.
Ooh, what were you close to getting?
Well, you know, I've been getting back into doing some real Ghostbusters stuff and everything with that. And right around the time of Afterlife, they released some toys that were not the Kenner's Classics, not the straight up reproductions of the old figures, but they had released these Fright Features Ghostbusters that were based off the new movie with the kids as well as the older Ghostbusters. And they came with the little companion ghost. They released an Ecto one, of course, and this one had like the cool sidecar pop-out seat and everything. So I was looking at that. They had it there. I still might swing back and go pick it up. Just at the time, I was like, you know, not at this time. Jim, good to have you here. Largo's Lair in the house, everybody.
Good to have you.
Definitely go check out his channel and hit subscribe if you're not already. He does a lot of great streams, doing a lot of fun shows.
You know, I'm hoping one of these days you're going to go to Random Treasures, you're going to break out your camera on your phone, and you're going to film a little bit, show a little bit of the stuff, do a little narration, and then we can put it on Toy Frenzy, or you should definitely put it on your channel. Like, it would be so cool to go to the toy store with Oz and hear his thoughts, right? Right?
I had reached out to the owner, and I never got a word back.
Okay, let me just tell you right now. When you go in, you just pull out that camera, and you just start shooting. I'm serious. Like I've never had somebody come to me and be like, don't do it. I'm sure
Right.
that'll happen eventually, but I do always try to ask first. But if the store is busy, or if the store owner is talking to somebody, or if they seem maybe like a little grumpy and they don't want to be talked to, I just do it. And then if I buy something, I always try to buy something, just like a little small thing, just so it shows I'm not being a jerk. I buy a little thing, go up to the counter and say, hey, I shot a little bit of footage, if that's okay. And then it's too bad. I've reached out to people via email, to stores via email. I don't know. Owning a store must be a really stressful activity, because they never got back to me either, Oz. So,
Right. It can be. I've had experience. I've been there before, and sometimes
Yeah.
you just like, no,
yeah,
I'm not gonna do it.
yeah,
Yeah, I know Dallas Vintage Toys. I go there. I mean, it's quite a drive because it's on the other side of the Metroplex with me. But
oh yeah,
when I do go there, I mean, it's an amazing place. I mean, it's just like so much, and they got that giant Grayskull
yeah,
entryway that I don't know if y'all have seen like picture,
oh
like
yeah,
seen it, but and that's their like that leads you into like their graded section, and they're completely cool. Yeah, you see people in there all the time filming. It's just like it's I mean.
oh yeah.
Because there's so much stuff in there. But I do. I mean, every time I go in there, I say, "Hey, is it okay if I shoot some stuff here?" And like, "Oh yeah, you're fine. You're fine." Yeah. So
Yeah, it's when you have a store like that, you have like a little museum. People wanna, and all that stuff that they're selling, it's it belongs to the public in a lot of ways. So just filming it's not like you're filming a Rembrandt painting and
yeah.
going to try and make prints of it or something, which is like, so it's the community, and I'm sure they'd be fine with it, Oz. We'd love to see it.
Definitely.
But look who's here, folks, Mr. Wonderful, and
Yeah.
Travis's Hexastacks are up and ready to order, folks.
That's right.
You should definitely get out there and order some display Hexastacks.
Absolutely. The Kickstarter just kicked off this past week, so definitely make sure you head over there and start backing some Hexastacks. We want to see these all across ToyTube and everybody's display. It's an amazing idea. Storage space included. Gosh, I mean, really, really unique design.
We're excited to show them off on the channel when they become available and talk about them a little bit. But when we had Travis on and he was talking about his concept, I was like, that's the way you do it. If you're not playing with your toys, if you don't have them on card on the wall, and you want them on a display, what a great way to do it. And it looks professional. It looks sleek. The design happens to match the aesthetic of pretty much every toy, because it's futuristic, but also organic looking, and so they're very cool. They're very, very cool. All right. Look at all these people talking about what a great idea it is.
That's right. Hexastack has a ton of support right now.
Yeah.
And we just need to keep seeing it go bigger and bigger.
That's right.
Tell your friends about Hexastack if you haven't already. Pinkies up, Skele. Come on, we're fancy here.
That's right. Now, so you didn't pick up the thing, but you're going to go back one of these days, and it's going to still be there, and you're going to get it, right, Oz?
Definitely going to happen. Definitely. Honestly, like, I was kind of kicking myself after I left the store. Like, I really should have grabbed it, because it was actually cheaper than what I'm seeing in most places online right now. And, I was just like, man, I really, really should have grabbed it. But I made a good, smart decision.
Yeah.
I had to make that smart decision. So there will always be another time.
And yes, and you know what? The good news is, folks, there's a good chance that those things won't be as pricey next time around. There's also a good chance. There's also a chance they could be more expensive, but there's also a good chance that they could go down in price too.
That's right. I mean, it's always it's a danger that you run, but Go ahead, Scott.
So going. I think about that every time I go into Target and I see Origins figures on clearance. I'm like, oh man, I could have gotten the Beast Man for $16, you know, or Too Bad for $10.99 or whatever it was when I saw it. And that's okay, right? You have it, you're excited about it, and in a way, you're supporting the company, and that makes sure that more stuff's going to come out in the future. But we all want to get that deal, right?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, that's really, really what it is. Like, you know, Sky Sleds were down to like $8 at one point. And I actually passed up on buying more because I wanted other people to get that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I'm just like, I should have bought it.
Yeah.
I really should have bought it, especially after going to Maryland Toy Expo. You know, when I went to Maryland Toy Expo, everybody, I talk it up a lot right now. Those Kenner Classics Real Ghostbusters available widely at Ollie's if you can find it for $4 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
So excited. Dawn worked her butt off and managed to grab the complete set for me. Thank you very much, hon.
Nice.
Love you.
Nice.
Couldn't imagine that enough.
Yeah. So cool.
We turn around, we're at Maryland Toy Expo, and I'm walking around, and people are selling them for $30 a pop.
Wow.
Which you can see them online where they're going for like $30 a pop.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I wouldn't mind if it was just they had their little price sticker on that said $30 or whatever. But it's right next to the freaking Ollie's sticker that still shows, you know, $4.99 on the box. So, like, the reason I couldn't find them myself is because this jackass just came through, bought them all up, and now he's turned them around for $30 a pop.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just kind of the game that it is, you know. Somebody else got to it first.
Yeah. It's always a gamble, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Roton's on clearance for $23. Not bad, night one.
Right.
It's not a bad deal.
Aaron says he's still trying to find those boats at Ollie's. And I've been looking, man. I'm telling you, Ollie's, they're becoming this little like hot spot to go to. And you're only going to catch like not all the time is it going to be an amazing discount. And so there he is. The man is in the house.
Whoop, whoop. Speaking of Ollie's, welcome, Bobby.
Yep. What's that?
Slayer.
Yeah, Slayer.
That's right. Green and blood.
So, speaking of Ollie's, if anybody goes to an Ollie's and you see a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man there for $4, will you grab one for me? I would love to have a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I missed it when I saw it at Walmart. I didn't see it at Walmart, but I missed it when they were showing up at Walmart, and love that guy. That's all I want from the Ghostbusters is Stay Puft.
We're on the hunt for you, myself and Dawn included. You know, every time we pop into an Ollie's, we are looking.
Thank you. That's awesome. So, Bobby, how'd your computer situation go?
It was frustrating, man. I didn't want to join StreamYard because it might screw up the feed and all that because it's downloading all that stuff, and then it had to restart and all. It took a long time.
Don't you love technology?
It's been over an hour since I turned it on. Yeah, so
Wow.
I usually check it during work, during the day, but I didn't do it during lunch this time, and it bit me.
Yeah,
it happens, man. It happens.
Yeah.
So everybody else is just having a great time, saying hi, saying hey.
Hey. Well, I was watching it on YouTube, so I was
toilet.
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
Did you just reach back and flush? That's really far away.
Yeah,
he's got that Mr. Fantastic armor.
I did have pasta for the first time this year, and it's kind of screwed my stomach up.
Oh no!
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
I usually don't eat pasta, but yeah, I had a big plate of it.
Yeah.
Should have eaten it today.
I can understand sometimes.
Right now, we're going around the table to see if anybody picked up anything exciting this week. Bobby, did you get anything?
Nope.
I was just messaging Bobby earlier. It's like I'm not getting anything.
Yeah,
I had to ask. I had to ask.
yeah. I always talked about that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not until Boo comes out. Gotta get
Well,
that
yeah. Well, I
blueberry.
ordered that. Yeah, but that's all I have on order is blueberry, and that's it.
August, right? We're
Yeah.
supposed to
Next
get it
month.
in August.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
next
it's
Monday.
a
Yeah.
Comic-Con exclusive. So yeah,
Yeah.
it should be available next week or next month.
I'm excited too. I ordered it too.
Good.
Good.
Definitely. Well,
It's
because
glow in the dark. It's awesome.
gotta get
Yeah.
that glow in the
Oh,
dark
yeah.
to go with
That's
my
nice.
Ghostbusters too. You know,
Yeah.
Blueberry's gonna be getting hit from Egon or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you got the other two, right, Skelly? I know you have Frankenberry, I believe.
Oh yeah, it'll be Frankenberry,
Count Chocula.
Blueberry, and Scareglow standing next to one another.
Okay.
And
They
You don't
can
have
keep-
you don't have Count Chocula?
uh-uh.
Oh wow.
Oh.
You didn't get Count Chocula. Oh,
Nope. Listen, it's all about Frankenberry and Blueberry. It's about the berries.
what about Fruitbird? You gonna
Fruitbird, yeah.
pass on Fruitbird too?
No, I do have a. I do
Yummy
have.
Mummy?
I do, I do have.
I got a story about that when I was getting my tattoo, and my tattoo artist was looking up Yummy Mummy for
no.
references.
Not something you want to look up.
No, you told me about it.
I do have those guys in this form. The cause competition figures, but
I love those.
no, I don't know. John, did you get anything this week? Get anything exciting?
Actually, I did. Last
Ooh.
week I picked up a. I'm going down that Mythics rabbit hole and picked up the little skeleton warrior. It's like picked up two of
I
them. but
love
yeah.
that.
Here, let me make you
I'm
big
gonna
here.
say, blow him up there, Skelly.
Yep, that's beautiful. He's
Man.
yeah.
And then also Shipwreck came in today, actually
Oh.
earlier this week, yeah.
I want to say I've always loved Shipwreck. He
Yeah.
is. There's something about him. He's a little corny, but I love Shipwreck.
Well, they made his character awesome in the cartoon. So
Oh yeah.
And Bazooka.
yeah,
Yeah.
Zuka's awesome too.
Very
You know,
cool.
it's funny if you pop that head on Chuckles, it's almost gonna look like Magnum PI.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was thinking when I
that's
saw it.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's get a close look there.
Big,
Yeah, that is
Tom
that's
Selleck.
definitely.
That's
It
Tom,
does look like him. Yeah.
very, very Tom Sellecky right there.
If you all had met me 4 years ago, you would have seen that look.
Really.
Yeah.
Come on, Skelly. It's never too late to bring it back. I mean, if you got that kind of a rockin' stash, go for it, brother.
No, I'm not going to do it again. I got too many who's that creep over there?
You still don't get that?
I get it still, but not as much.
Yeah, every time I walk down a toy aisle.
That doesn't happen. So one of the things about not having just a mustache anymore is that I don't get as many "that's a creep in the toy aisle" looks anymore. So
Oh yeah.
That's
now with the gray showing, because when I just had the mustache, the gray wasn't showing,
Mhm.
and now with that, it's just like, oh, there's just another dad. It's okay.
Yeah.
He's shopping for his grandkids or something.
Yeah, that's my excuse all the time.
Yep, that's right.
So Thanos had a question for John, asking if he got in on some Mythic All Stars.
I only pre-ordered Prince Andrew through Four Horsemen, and
Okay.
then when I got some more Skeleton Warriors, the ones with the horn helmets, those look. I mean, they look just
Yeah.
like the ones from. Actually, I got them here in the Vicron box art
Yep.
packaging that he's fighting. So I was like, oh, I definitely need to get some of those. And then the big guy, I'm still waiting to see.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
I looked at him. I'm just like, well, I'll wait and see. But he looks amazing, and yeah, I may have to pull the trigger on him. But no, just Prince Andrew's the only one I actually got through Store Horseman, and then Big Bad. I pre-ordered those the Skeleton Warriors.
Spreading a little love all the way over to the homeboys at Hella Dope Toys too.
Actually, I need to pick up. Yeah, I was on Hella Dope. I need to pick up that SHF Figure Arts Batman flashback.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, such a good one.
Yeah,
I there's so many cool things coming out, and I just have to think what do I want? What is it that I what can I afford, and then what do I really want from that? Like, I was really tempted with that shipwreck. But I have the reactions shipwreck, and that makes me happy. So
there you go.
I'm happy with that. I did get this guy. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but this guy is.
He is great looking. I got you, Skelly.
Oh, thanks.
Apparently, you got you too.
This guy. I'm sorry, guys, but the new Eternia Masterverse figures are just amazing.
They are.
Yeah.
I mean, this version of Faker is phenomenal. Look at that face.
Yep. Well, and the other thing that I like about it too is if you picked up the Faker that came out from Revelations, because say you want that more orangish look, that we're more accustomed to.
Right.
It came with the vest that fits that Faker just as well. So boom, now you got the blue look with the orange vest if you like it, or you've got that, the cross-sell Faker that had the pink armor that never came out.
You want to know something? Whenever somebody asks that question, whenever I ask that question, I expect somebody to say no. Do you want to know something? Nope. So I loved the Revelation Faker so much that I didn't get it when it was $5 on clearance at Target. But now I'm like, oh, now I feel like I should have, just so I could sell the figure and keep the armor for this guy. But I love
the spare parts. You never know when you might need them for something.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, this Faker is amazing, and he's not hitting the stores. Oh, you want to hear something interesting today? I noticed that Spike-Or, the Origin Spike-Or, was no longer showing up as unavailable on the Target app. It was showing up as in stores on the Target app. I noticed that today, Spike-Or. So after work, I swung by Target just to have a look and just ask if anybody knew. So he said, no, there's nothing here. But he did say something interesting. He said that it looks like they're not going, that particular Target's not going to have Master stuff after, or at least Origins after this current batch sells out.
Wow.
Which
you mean the Wave Eternal?
Yeah, I was at Target, I think it was last week, and I did notice a side cart that had everything like marked down for Masters. It was like a bunch of Stratoses and stuff, but they were like really deep clearanced.
Yeah.
The way it's been going, we're going to see more and more of it probably available select stores where it was moving a lot more, and then definitely a bigger presence online.
That's kind of the situation with Walmart, right? Because Walmart, there are some Walmarts that have it and some Walmarts that don't now.
Right. Like all my local Walmarts, none of them carry it. But even as close as West Virginia, which is really weird, they've had some of the newer waves in, as a matter of fact. Like new figures from the last couple of waves. They've had them on shelf. So, yeah, there's a lot that are not carrying them anymore.
It's strange.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see as time goes on where things are going to be sold at more or not. I mean, really, the stuff would move if they just fix that distribution and redistribute when it's not selling well at a certain store.
And in all reality, too, this September it'll be out for 4 years already.
Right? Yeah. Which is, honestly, I don't think any of us expected it to go this long.
Yeah. Well, I always said it was a 5-year plan, but it seems like it might be dwindling down. I don't know.
They're just, recalibrating. That's all.
Yeah.
They know most of their sales are online. It's kind of been forced to go that way, but they know that's where the majority of their sales are. So why bother selling it in store if it's all selling online?
Yeah. I mean, originally too. I mean, its peak years was 82 to 85.
Yep.
So those, and then
80, peak years, 80.
Right. The peak year was 85, and then it started to dwindle through 86 and 87.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of recreating that same timeline.
That's what it seems like. You know.
So, I am really excited to talk to John about his photography. Shall we jump in?
Yeah.
We should.
I'm stoked to have this conversation with you, John, because I love your photography. I love that you combine IPs. I'm a huge fan of combining IPs. I talk about that a lot, I know, but it's so much fun. That's like the play aspect is there. I like people who do toy photography where they're trying to accomplish a scene that they're familiar with their toys, with the particular, characters doing the things that they do with each other. I don't mean that lewd. There's no double entendre there, but but when it's like genuine play, like GI Joe and Masters, or something of like it's authentic to what we grew up with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me, that's where that comes from, is just, I mean, adding more value to not just buying them and having them on a shelf, but just, doing something with them, and kind of, getting into that feel of when I was a kid and I was playing with, I mean, I just had a box full of just different figures, Motu, Ghostbusters, Turtles, GI Joe, Thundercats, just all mixed together, and I would just like, just intertwine them and like set up different scenes with them, and now with the way things are, how they're made. I mean, they look amazing. I mean, they're really really photogenic now, where it's not just, I mean, just these plastic things. I mean, these are kinds of like works of art now. I mean, and that when you have them displayed, or even when you're taking a photograph of them, I mean, they just look amazing. I mean, and I got inspired, yeah, just from watching other, just kind of just on seeing like just the like stuff like whenever McFarlane would send something out, a promo shot, that is somebody, from the toy photography doing that, or Super 7 or anything like that. I mean, I just love seeing their shots.
Oh, it's so good. And Raul Barrero, his toy photography for Mondo, is just blowing my mind right now too. So, my question for you is, what got you into this? How did you get into it? And there are more questions that follow that up, like what kind of equipment you use and stuff like that. But why did you get into toy photography, and what brought you to it?
Really, it's just when I got back into toy collecting in general. I mean, really just a few years ago, it kind of started with, the gateway for me to get back in, because kind of stepped away from collecting for a couple years, in my 20s, and then in my 30s, I started getting into like hot toys. I saw these things, these giant, 1/6 scale figures. Like, oh man, these things are amazing. So I mean, so I started kind of getting into those, and then gradually I kind of just like started, getting more and more, just picking stuff up here and there. And then really after the pandemic, I pretty much just went all in, and saw that He-Man was coming back,
Yeah.
with the Masterverse line. And that line's always going to be special to me. That's always going to be like my real first toy line. Like I remember, I say this all the time. Like I was a baby crawling around, because I was born in '82, but I was crawling around with, my brother's hand-me-down He-Man toys, in '84 and '85, just crawling, with them in my hands, and playing with them, because they were just, the first thing I just gravitated towards. And seeing how they're made now, and seeing like toy photography on Instagram, other people doing it, I was like, oh, I could probably do this, or I can fall into this, because originally when I was in high school and kind of growing up, I wanted to be in filmmaking. I love film. I love movies growing up, and that's something that I wanted to do, was, do something with, be a director or cinematographer, something along those lines. But at the time, it was like the early 2000s, so it was really, really hard to kind of fall into that. Nowadays it's pretty, I mean, you can shoot a whole movie on your camera now, on your camera phone. I mean, it's so, I mean, the technology is kind of there with, at your fingertips, pretty attainable, that you can do a lot of that stuff. But back then you couldn't, and I had to kind of just get a real job and work where I've been working. But that creative aspect's always been there, and I think that kind of helped me, not in motion photography, but actually still photography, and just the idea of creating a scene, like creating, I don't know when that He-Man live action movie is going to happen, if ever, but I can at least create it with my figures and kind of just, how I figure, how I would want a scene to be played out in an actual He-Man film or in a Thundercats or in a G.I. Joe movie. So that's kind of where, me wanting to just, create something, in still photography. That's kind of where that happened.
They do look like film stills. All your pictures look like, here's a scene from this movie. And that's a really great quality to have. It's like every shot's like something's happening mid action, like, not like my Instagram pictures where my figures are basically just standing there, but you got them engaged in activities, which is so cool. This picture is great. So do you shoot on a digital camera?
Yeah. I actually, and I tell anybody that wants to start up, man, it doesn't matter what, just shoot, just whatever you have, just do it. I mean, and just take as many photos as you can, and everybody will get better, I think, because when I first started, I was on my camera phone, and I mean, I go back and look at my old pictures, I'm just like, oh man, they're so bad. They're just so bad. I just like, I can't. I mean, like, why did I light it this way? Why did I shoot from this angle, this and this? But, my wife, she actually said, well, why don't you just use my camera? It's a DSLR. And it's just like, okay, I've never messed with one before, so I can figure it out. And once I did, I noticed the immediate difference. And I got into that again, that, it's not a video camera, but it's a still camera, but still I got into that, being able to, change the exposure, just manipulate the image in camera. And I think that's what kind of got me more excited, was getting that feel back of creating something, lighting something, setting up the shot, setting up the characters, and then, shooting something and then doing some post editing on it. So now, it's just, she has a Nikon. So it's funny because she's like, that's my camera. When I show her some of my photos, it's like, you shot that with my camera? It's like, yeah. It's like, I can never get stuff like that. It's like, because she had a lot of the automatic settings on, and I just turned off. I went full manual, manual and everything. So it's just like, well, I told her I just shoot everything manual. She's like, oh, okay, well, I might have to try that then if it comes out like that.
Right.
Well, it allows you to mess around with the different looks, right? If you want the background to be out of focus, so if you want to get it, so you can mess around with that. Danos has a great question. Do you start playing with the toys to come up with the scene, or do you have the scene planned first?
It's a mixture of both. I mean, sometimes I'll just like especially if I know I'm getting some, a new character, like a new toy, new figures coming in, and I start kind of getting ideas like, oh man, how can I shoot them, and how can I do this? But a lot of times I can just have them in my hand. Like, I'll just take them off my display and just want to just, pose them and kind of just get them in, in a certain, setup. And then it'll just hit me. Then it'll just come to me like, oh yeah, I can do this. I can use this diorama or this setup, and and shoot it. And sometimes it's just by, just luck, or just, because I could be working on a shot for like an hour or 2 hours and I just can't get it. And then I'll walk away, or I'll change something. I'll turn off one of my lights, my setup, and I was like, wait a minute, that actually looks pretty good. Let me see real quick. Like, okay, yeah, I can just, all I need to do is just turn this light off, and I can, now I have the shot that I want. So it's just a mixture of all that combined. And and sometimes I do get a little bit of writer's block, but I think if I watch a movie, or if I'm listening to a certain soundtrack to a movie, then it kind of gets me, it gets me going again, and kind of gets me like, oh yeah, I can probably, let me go back and look at that, that setup. I can probably do it better now that I've got a little bit of, creative juices flowing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of creatives talk about this. Like, if you're feeling stuck or you have that block, all you got to do is something else.
Yeah.
Right.
Get up and walk around the block. Turn
Walk
on
away for a minute.
a movie or listen to your favorite record. Something. Do something else.
Yep. And it's funny how easily it'll come together when you come back to it once you clear your head.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I just gave some advice like that earlier today. It's something that I've done plenty of times where I'm struggling with something. So get up, leave, walk away, go do something completely different for a while, come back to it. Next thing you know, hey, whatever it was, I figured it out.
Yeah. And for this shot in particular, yeah, this is, I think I went through 2 different setups before even selling on this one with Beastman, Stratos, and Steamcore. And I was like, I can't get it. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't like the shot. And then I just realized, well, let me just do it. Let me try an action shot. And it just came. And I had it set up, and I was like, oh, you know what? I got these flame effects that I can use in, post editing, and I can incorporate and make it look, like Stratos. He's taking off, like he's kicking a Beastman down.
Yeah,
and probably giving Steamcore a little burn.
I want to talk to you about the effects in a little bit, because Aaron had a great question or statement about learning how to do effects, but I want to address this really quick. Speaking moistly, I can create a scene, but not in the artistic, creative way. I have my reaction to this. What are your guys' reaction to this? I have a very specific answer for speaking moistly, or a statement addressing this concern.
I mean, I can create a scene too. I definitely go run amok anywhere and start creating a scene, and just, but then we'd all see me on a different part of YouTube. So
Well, I think anything that you do is just artistic, no matter what.
Yes. John, how about you?
No, same with Bobby. I mean, I think anything you do, I mean, it can just be taken as, because art's, subjective. There's no right or wrong way of doing anything.
Right.
And
yeah,
you can interpret it how you, however you want. That's the beauty about it.
Yes.
And if we did everything in an, I'm doing air quotes, you can see me above speaking moistly there, in an artistic, creative way, like, then it would all look the same. What kind of bullshit is that? Nobody wants that, right? So,
right.
Everybody take a drink. He's cursed.
Yeah, everybody take a drink. But you do the thing your way, and just have fun with it. Like, don't try to make it look like somebody else's, because then it's not going to look good. But if you do it your way, in a way that appeals to you, that might take you a few tries, right? That might take a few tries. That's part of it. Like the first time you join a band, I mean, the first couple, songs you jam on aren't going to be very good, because you're still building your chemistry with your fellow musicians,
figuring it out,
and
but just don't copy other bands, because then you're going to sound just like everybody else.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's it. Speaking moistly, so just have fun, man.
Right. And to piggyback off that, I know Aaron said John said that he started taking pictures. He didn't think they were all that great. And I know, Thanos made this comment saying, I know that feeling, because he also felt like, a lot of the pictures he was taking and he was posting weren't that great. And I was like, dude, no, this is awesome. Like, I really started to point out like some of those artistic traits that were in the shot that he didn't really catch. Like his use of scale of different toys to create a sense of depth within the shot that he was taking.
Yeah.
To me, it like really spoke volumes, and he was just like, I didn't think it was that great. But now he's been, showing his pictures all over Instagram and everything like that, really taking some creative shots.
And he's doing it his way.
Yeah. Right.
And you always get better and better as you go on. Your first stuff's always going to be rough until you really get what you're doing and know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And it comes out perfectly afterwards. And that happens to everybody, even all the professionals and everybody. It's the same thing. I mean, how many writers have written books and then throw them in the garbage because they thought they were no good, and then they get published in their
it's like years
bestsellers. Yeah.
And the problem with that is that the part of the process of making art is sharing it with others. So when we make something that we think is crappy, we have to understand, or we have to stand back and remember that we're not the only one looking at it.
Yep.
And so, let other people share their opinions. When, I was there for that conversation with, the ongoing conversation, getting Thanos to post his pictures. And Oz and I really liked what he was doing, even when they were rough around the edges. And that's you see, there's a quality to that early work that may not appeal to the artist, but it might appeal to somebody else, and that you got to give people the chance to tell you, yeah, there's something here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's like what we discussed last week with George Lucas about him.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm so mad at that guy because he doesn't understand the relationship between the artist and the audience. Like, he doesn't understand that it's got to be a give and take. It can't just be take.
And you're always your worst critic yourself.
Oh yeah, and also you're not always right. Damn it! Like, you're not. The artist isn't always right about what is good or what is bad. Like, take some constructive criticism.
Look at Van Gogh. Van Gogh died poor, and then after his death, he became known as one of these great artists.
That happens to a lot of everybody.
Yeah.
And nobody, I'm going to just tell you, he made his work despite the fact that people were saying, I don't understand what the heck you're doing here.
Yep.
I don't think that it's very good. And so that just goes to show you that whatever we think of as good, that's fluid, that can change.
That's
right. It can change just like it changes from day to night. That's how quickly what we think good can change. And remember when bad was good? When that was like
yeah. Oh man, that's so bad.
As a kid, that was paradoxical to me. But what a great lesson that is. Like, as a kid, I was fascinated by that. Bad is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, art that's bad is often great.
It's all great. It really is. Because that's somebody's expression of themselves.
That's
that
right.
doesn't mean it has to appeal to everybody.
That's
now,
right.
I was going to say before we go on to the next shot, because this shot is a really good shot to talk about because of the effects work. And we've had a couple comments here. Aaron was saying he really needs to learn how to do effects. Nolan mentioned he wanted to start learning to edit and doing the effects here.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you come up with the desired effect that you're looking for? Since I know, especially you do a lot of your shots manually.
I mean, a lot of it just comes to like if I try and plan it out ahead of time, especially because what you want to do is make sure that your lighting also matches whatever effect you're going to use, so it provides that extra bit of realism.
Right.
So if you're going to have like some sort of like a fire and a fire effect or a lightning effect, something around those lines, you want to make sure you get the lighting to match that before you go in there and edit, and then you can intensify it with in post production. And me, I use Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop. Not even gonna say. I mean, I'm still learning. I'm just clicking buttons a lot of times. I'm just clicking around and just messing around.
That's how you learn how to use it, though, right?
Oh yeah. But there's something specifically like I want to do, then I'll Google, I'll go on YouTube, and I'll find videos on how to do that. I think I saw Thanos comment on the removing of the stands and the wires, and really is
I was going to bring that up in a bit too.
That was going to be my question as well. So
it's Photoshop. There's some tools in there that you can do to remove it, and and go in there and just kind of clean up and make sure that it's it's not rough around the edges and kind of make it seamless. And again, really a lot of cool stuff you can do. I've only scratched the surface of what you can do in Photoshop, but yeah, a lot of times if I know I want to have some sort of effect in there, then I want to make sure if it's something that's going to incorporate lighting, then I have to make sure that matches. But for the most part, I mean, I kind of stick to some of the basics, using brushes to make fog or dust or anything like that, and then just little extra effects like this one here for the jetpack. all I did was just find a file online that had these actually came from it's just a little clip art, and then in Photoshop you can go in there, apply it to a different layer, change it to screen, and then it just basically blends into the photo. And then it's a matter of just like moving it around and just masking it and erasing parts of it and kind of blend it in so that it kind of meshes well with whatever it is you're adding. In this case, the jetpack, and just make sure that it kind of just blend as seamless as possible. To make it believe that make it seem like it's there. So yeah, and this one I had two stands, one for Stratos and another one for Beastman. Just one propping him up from behind, showing that he's about to keel over.
Now, do you ever do practical effects for your shots? I know I've seen a couple of toy photographers where they'll use maybe like a smoke bomb or a vape, to create like some mist or some clouds in the shot, or, throwing a rock into a puddle to create the splash. Do you ever incorporate anything like that into any of your shots?
Really just with misting and trying to get a fog effect on sometimes. I'll do that. But for me, it's like, again, talking about, some of the great toy photographers like Sir Dork and Comic Dad shots and them. I mean, they use, for me, it's more of a, I'm not going to put my figures next to fire. So, but the flame effects that they do, I mean, it looks amazing. Yeah. But for me, it's just more of a, like, there's no way I'm putting any of this stuff next to a fire, but the way they capture it, it is, it looks great. I think I saw one of, I think it was the Flash Batman, the Ben Affleck Batman and the Keaton Batman together. And he just basically just put, gasoline around them in a circle and then just light it on fire. And then you kind of just, slow, just get a high shutter speed and then just shoot. And then you just catch it at the right, moment, and just really creates that real nice look.
I've seen people use those air dusters to like blow the dirt up around the feet and stuff, and then just catch the photo of that.
Yep.
So it's really neat.
I mean, go ahead, Oz.
I was just gonna say, I always get like, Sid flashbacks and stuff whenever I see like Sir Dork use like, little M80s in his shots to create the blast effects, and it scares the crap out of me. It's gonna blow. Like, when you think about that little action, that little G.I. Joe or something that somebody strapped a bomb to when you were a kid, you watched it blow up into a bunch of pieces. I never quite understood that because I enjoyed playing with my toys, but I've seen people do it. And it's like I'm watching him and he's creating like this, essentially just a homemade explosive to kind of blow up an effect. And I'm always worried it's going to blow up a $60 or $50 figure he's taking a picture of, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I've talked to him actually quite a bit, and it's like there is a reason why he uses a lot of Stormtroopers and a lot of Black Series figures, because I mean, those are kind of like easy to come by. But I'm as cool as it would be to have Vicron surrounded by fire, like man, this little white thing, as soon as it gets caught, it's just gonna just singe up and
not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
So Indy, this Indiana Jones photo is great. It looks like a still from the film. So the lighting is fantastic. I'm assuming that you use Photoshop to get the light streaming down from the top like that. But I'm more interested in in this photo. I'm interested in the backgrounds and foregrounds. Like, what are you using for plants? What are you using for the rock wall in the background? What are you using for the rocks in the foreground? How are you doing that?
So for the background, that's I guess a terrarium. It's just like I got it on Amazon for like $20, and again, they just made out of foam core, and they really they have that texture, so you can use it for like flooring if you want, or like in this case the background. And again, it just makes it look like he's in a cave. And for the foreground, it was again toy photographer's best friend, just the aquarium equipment, aquarium decorations. And this was actually at PetSmart, they had a pretty decent sale, so I got like 2 things out there. But this was a pretty it was like a pretty big piece. It was like almost like about that big, but I knew I just needed just a little bit, in the picture, and just just had it like in to the side, and then just put the idol there, and had it comes with the plans kind of just glued onto it at various points. So again, a real nice piece that it could be used as a background filler or something like in this case in the foreground. But again, just kind of just thinking about just recreating that famous scene in the film. I mean, with him, going after the idol and just trying to create that sense of him being in a cave and ready to grab the treasure.
Yeah.
And the way I shot it, like I knew, because he is a harder figure to shoot because of his hat. But I figured like, oh, that was actually an accident. When I go back and talk about accidents happening, because when I shot it, I was like, oh, I kind of like with his one eye just showing, the other eye is covered up with his hat, and I was like, oh, I'll take that. Yeah, that works out.
That makes you feel a bit.
Oh, sorry.
I just said happy accidents, like Bob Ross. Yeah.
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 I was just going to say, it gives it that more lifelike quality from the movie.
Yeah.
With just that one eye missing. Now, Thanos is asking here about how you really kill it on the lighting, which blends into a couple of other things that I've tied up, and I was going to try to bring up here in a second that ties in with what we're talking about for this. So what are you using for lighting?
Just basic lights that I get on Amazon. They're the first ones I had. They're just Ulanzi lights, and I have a pair of like just square rectangle lights that come with like a silicone cover for a diffuser, and then another kind of a more of a square light. And you can change. You can do either color temperature with warm or cool light, or just the RGB, red, green, and the color spectrum lights on there. And then recently, I actually, I went up to the big boys and got the Lume Cubes, but it was actually the panel lights, the big like kind of studio type panel lights, and just got those, and those are kind of like my overarching light that I can use to provide like a just overall fill light on the on the set. But yeah, pretty much that's what I have. Just a mixture of those of different those different lights that, again, just I may not need all of it. Just I can just always like block it out with black aluminum foil and just shape the light to go where I want it to go. Like I knew in this case I wanted a light to come over Indy's shoulder, and then one to kind of come over him, because I knew I wanted to create that hazy light that I couldn't get in real time. But I was like, well, I'm going to create it in post, so I got to make sure I have some sort of light covering his hand, over his hand and that side of his arm, to show that there's a light coming down from that side.
Right. So with a little bit of talk about, oh man, I love this shot. Absolutely love this shot. But with a little bit of talk about what you bought there with some aquarium stuff and kind of creating those shots that you like. I know, again, Aaron was mentioning here, he's ordered some stuff to do a Dio build, and he wants the Swamp House from Extreme sets for his Dreadnought shelf. And I know you use some Extreme sets like that dungeon and everything. And actually, this is an Extreme set as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like their deluxe headquarters setup. So, and again, it kind of goes back to I'm playing with cardboard again, at 40 years old, and I was playing with cardboard when I was a little kid, and
like an old Palatoy play set. But yet, when you take your shots, is it due to mostly how you do the lighting or that manual exposures that you do that actually give it that more 3D depth and make it come more to life?
It's a combination of that. I mean, to make it seem like it's not just printed on cardboard. I mean, and you always got to be mindful of that when you're lighting, because again, it is cardboard, so it has a little bit of it can get a little bit hot or a little bit shine on it. So you got to be mindful of where you place your light, so it doesn't you don't get these hot spots in the background on it. But for the most part, yeah. I think when I was again just shooting stuff on simple black backgrounds when I first started, or at least when I was doing test shots before I got into Instagram. And then I saw, oh, there's this company, Extreme Sets, and they do some, really great work. And I saw that dungeon play set, and I was just, or the dungeon set, I was just like, oh man, I gotta get that. I mean, if I'm
those green blocks were intentional. What they were trying to sell us.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, that was like my first one I got, and then this was the second one that I have, or that I have, that I bought, and I think I have like 4 more. Change it up a little bit. I have a city set, and then a sci-fi starship type of set, and then another sci-fi set that's more like Star Wars themed, but I can use it. It goes great. I can use it for Motu as well, because I mean it can just be some a city, just because that's the great thing about Motu. I mean, it's a mixture of like, yes, you can do sci-fi, fantasy, but also there's sci-fi elements to it as well. So
absolutely.
And for this was, again, I mean, the idea just popped into, just popped in like, oh, what if Pete and Ned found the cosmic key, and then Skeletor, and Skeletor's all ticked off, and he has to have Evelyn go down and retrieve it. And I think it was because I had just seen the movie too. I mean, I see it multiple times a year, and I had just gotten the Langella Skeletor, and instead of using the Langella Skeletor, I was like, well, it'd be funnier if it was the Revelation Skeletor. That again, it's like a mixture of all different things, different characters, and then also just the Revelation Skeletor one in the Cosmic Key. But yeah, it's just something you probably would see like maybe in Filmation. They've had a lot of times where they would cross over with Earth and stuff, and so I thought that was kind of a cool idea. That I was like, yeah, I could see if I can pull this off. And yeah, that's actually just 2 photos, two separate photos, and then having to mask the one in the background and then blur it out to make it seem like it's just out of focus. And that took quite a bit of, I mean, it wasn't too hard once I figured out how to do it, but that the trick was, okay, I think I have an idea. So how can I have this photo show up on the monitor that's on the set, and then make sure that they're out of focus to kind of give it more depth to Skeletor and Evil Lyn. And yeah, it was just a matter of just playing around and just figuring it out. And I was like, that, I think this works. I think that, well, I mean, it's not the greatest of job, but it got, it got the point across that I wanted to tell. And that was basically that, yeah, that their Skeletor has some sort of transmission to Earth, and he's able to see that, these two nerds got the cosmic key.
Well, and I love Ned's grin here because, and I mean, we've talked about it before. That's not how this action figure looks.
That was another cool thing. Again, going back to technology being, and AI and everything, that's available now, and just using the face app. And I think I was just like, well, what if I use the face app on a figure? Well, will that work? And I took a quick shot. I don't even know which one it was. It was probably He-Man or somebody, and I, and it recognized it. I let me select let me select it, and then I went in there, just put a smile, like, oh wow, this is freaky. it's like just surreal.
But that's him from the movie, though. That's totally how he is in the movie. He's got the big goofy grin on his face through most of it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't do a head sculpt like him like that. But yeah, that's just
Now I want to talk about this one a little bit because I have this figure. I have the 40th anniversary He-Man figure, and you made this figure look better. I know folks like talked about this till forever and ever and ever, how strange this He-Man's face sculpt and the paint applications are on this He-Man's face. But you made me want to get that figure out again and look at it again, because this is awesome.
Yeah, I love that this version when he came out. And I think so I have the 2-pack with him and Skeletor, and then this is the one that was like at the that they sent out to retail. And I mean, the 2-pack, yeah, his face was, he did have like that, you know, he put a little too much blush on his face, but this one, I didn't see that issue with him, and I just like,
Excuse me for one. I'm so sorry. Someone's at the door. This is weird. This doesn't happen. Excuse me.
oh man, it's just me and Bobby now.
I know. Go ahead, you can continue.
No, I mean, just that's yeah. I mean, I think out of all the Masterverse, the whole line so far, I think he's one of my favorites.
Really?
That's classic He-Man to me. I mean, yeah, I mean the Revelation one with the face sculpt. I mean, I'm one of those negative Nellies that's like that's a horrible face sculpt.
Yeah, I didn't like that one either. I'm not too keen on this one either, but I know a lot of people like it and a lot of people don't. But
Yeah.
That was weird. All right, that's so sad. I thought it was somebody. I thought it was something important, but it was two kids coming around. They've been coming around the neighborhood trying to sell solar panels.
Oh,
It's 8 p.m. over here. Who's look? You know, kids are selling solar panels at 8 p.m.
Yep.
Sorry about that, guys.
no, that's fine. You should have told me, hey, you want to come inside and see some He-Man pictures?
No, what I did is I went like this. Go away.
No, I was just telling Bobby, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is like I think one of my favorites out of the Masterverse line so far. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great figure, but you make him look even better. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, and this was just basically trying to recreate that famous filmation shot of him, you know, throwing the punch. You know, just trying to just get that classic He-Man.
Awesome. Did you guys talk about the background while I was gone?
We didn't get to that part yet.
I had to step away.
we were just talking about how awful the figure was. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, yeah, you know, John's made this figure look better. It's awesome.
Appreciate it.
So, what about that background? Was that another one of the?
Yeah, that's the Extreme Sets dungeon background. So
that's very cool.
Yeah, I like how it's out of focus and it's just the figure's right prominent on the photo. It's great.
Yeah.
Help creates that sense of depth that you look for. And again, it's a completely just cardboard sheet back there, but yet with this it does make it look
kind of
more
3D-ish. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I mean, that's yeah. My goal with this picture was just like, yeah, I want the focus just to be on He-Man, and then and again, it's just he's just more further, up more closer to the camera, and this, than the background is. Had that further away, and just messing with the focus, and there you go.
Yes. Oh, that's interesting. Bud says the 40th anniversary He-Man had. Folks, if you have the 40th anniversary He-Man head, have you put that on your Vicor yet? Like, that's a great idea, Bud.
I was gonna say I've got another one I haven't opened, but I think I'm gonna still keep that one. So maybe I'll try to find another one still. But
no, I haven't tried that. Well, I figured I was, yeah, because I mean, just because of his Vicron's skin tone's a little bit more. I like it because he seems a little bit more Mexican. He's a little bit, darker. So it's just black hair. So somebody represent me a little bit, but
yeah.
Thanos is mentioning, and Skele, you did an amazing live on the 66 Bad Cave about a year ago around this time, talking about like all the different little computers that it came with.
Oh yeah.
Thanos is mentioning using those with the Dungeons Extreme set to create kind of like a lab for Man-at-Arms, which we all know he needs a lab playset.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about that. Yeah. If you get like little diorama accessories or 3D printed things, hint, if Aaron wants to make some stuff, we can you can incorporate that and make it look like like a lab set, or kind of like even just like how Grayskull used to have like that little monitor or a little computer that they had.
after Skelly did his live review of that Bat Cave, I went hunting for one and couldn't find one anymore.
I mean,
they were on clearance.
What was it, like $10? I mean,
yeah, you got that thing dirt cheap.
I mean, I could not believe it. I keep waiting. I saw the Bruce Wayne's office playset the other day at Target. I was like, oh man, that's amazing. Now I'm just gonna wait for that to be $10.
They've done the Villains Lair.
Oh yeah, the Villains Lair
and the Bat Cave.
But the Villains Lair came and went. Like it didn't get a chance to
hang
become
around.
a clearance item. So at least from what I've experienced at my local Targets.
You know what though? I'm taking a look now, and that 66 Bat Cave, again, it's actually going for not a bad price. Like it's not as amazing of a deal as you had it for, Skelly. But
I don't remember. Was it 10 or 15? Something like that.
It was something like that. It was really dirt cheap because I remember I immediately hit like that weekend 6 Targets in my area just trying to find it, and nobody had it.
Oh man.
But like the amount of little computers and stuff that you got with that thing.
Oh yeah, it's very, very cool. Very cool. Now this is obviously this is the Extreme Sets background here too, but it. How did you create the 3-dimensionality beyond the gate? Is that painted into the Extreme Sets, or
it's just another piece to it, and or just it was like another wall, and then just having it propped up right behind it to give it that look.
The gate is like bars, and then you get, like there's holes so you can see through. That's very cool.
Yeah, and then just just lighting it from the top there to kind of just make it seem like there's something like a torch or something in there that's lighting it. I mean, I need to get like, again, going back to like having more props and everything. That's where it really comes into play, because you can have like a skeleton back there or something like that, or have actual like like maybe just put some chains on the back there and have somebody just chained up. I mean,
you get the old guys with the dog from was the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that would be awesome. I keep waiting for Disney to team up with Hasbro to come out with action figures of ride characters like the Pirates characters.
Yeah.
Not based on the movie. I am not interested in the movie characters. I want to see characters from the ride.
Yep.
That would be amazing.
All the pirates that are painted on the wall and stuff that you wouldn't walk in.
Come on, give them to us.
Because a lot of those characters are in the movie, but they look different, as the cartoon versions or whatever, the painted versions.
Bobby, you and I were talking about this via Instagram earlier when we were chatting about cutting back on buying toys.
Yeah.
And so if Hasbro, if you're listening, if you want to get Bobby to buy some figures from you, come out with the prisoner pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean ride. But also, while you're at it, consider making characters from other rides from Disneyland, like the Abominable Snowman, for example. Okay?
Right.
I'd be more interested in the Haunted Mansion stuff,
or the the hitchhiking ghost. Please, come on. I mean, the reaction figures are great. I love reaction. The reaction figure is great, but I want to see some that actually look like the hitchhiking ghost, like realistic. Now, also. NECA, if you're listening, Bobby and I had a great idea.
You did. I just asked you if it was true or not. But
you supported it, so it's the two of us now. NECA, you got to do realistic action figures of the McDonald Land characters, the costumed characters from the original shorts or the commercials that are like little short stories. Those original
Nightmare Fuel.
Nightmare Fuel. I'm telling you, there is a market for it. Do it. All right, there. I had to say that. I had to say my piece to both those toy companies.
Yeah, the two original Hamburglers too, because the first one, he had that weird looking face, and then they made his nose longer.
Yes. Yeah.
Not the kid version.
Not the kid.
There was two old versions. And one was like really freaky looking.
That's right. And we want these characters to look like they look like in the commercial, not cartoon versions or or cutesy versions, and Grimace with the 4 arms.
Yeah.
Bring it, NECA. I know you can do it. I know you can do it.
And really, it's McDonald's we got to pitch the idea to. We got to get them behind it again.
I suppose that's true. McDonald's, look, I mean, it's Mortarheads, but it's McDonald's still. Come on.
To blow your mind, Skelly, I did go to the corporate headquarters of McDonald's a bunch of times and ate there because it's in Oak Brook, Illinois. So when I worked out in the suburbs, I'd stop off in there and eat there. And I'll tell you what, that was a clean McDonald's. That was like the best one you could eat.
It was
the nicest McDonald's in all of the United States.
And they had a rock and roll McDonald's. I don't know if you ever seen the rock and roll McDonald's. No. I don't know if there's anywhere else. Chicago had one. No. That was pretty neat.
That's cool.
So if I when he walked in, he'd be like this.
I want McDonald's to come out with 1983 McDonald's experiences. That's what I'd like to have. It's just, a restaurant.
I want the old Funland back.
Yes, the old McDonald land, the old Funland. Bring it. Anyway, sorry, John. Right? I had to go off on a tangent there.
No. I'm the same way. It's like, gosh, I mean,
one more thing. Go ahead, John, please.
No, I was gonna say I'm the same way because where my wife's family, like where she's from, up in the Panhandle, they have a Pizza Hut there, and it's like, like for me, like going to a classic old style Pizza Hut with the chandelier and everything, carpet. It was in the actual
right. Yeah, it was darker. Yeah, it was like a little darker, but they all had like that fireplace in the middle kind of look.
Yep.
Our Pizza Hut used to play the Three Stooges on a screen, like video projected. It was so cool.
They all had the arcade machine when you walked in, the salad buffet.
Being from Chicago, pizza's a big thing for me,
Yeah.
But Pizza Hut, out of all the fast food, Pizza Hut wasn't actually too bad. Now it sucks, but it's it used to be good.
Used to be better.
The moment they started switching to frozen dough, man.
Yeah. That would be it. And
a
lot slimmer. Yeah, I don't know.
I was the last trainee at my Pizza Hut when I was working there that learned how to do the hand toss, actually toss it up. They didn't recommend you do that because you could waste a lot of food costs that way, but I still got taught. I definitely would do it.
Well, I worked at Toys R Us in Chicago, and we had a Pizza Hut in the same parking lot. And I started a group thing every Friday night. Everybody would go hang out at Pizza Hut.
Yeah, man.
And we started doing it every weekend. And then when I quit and I went back to like a year later, they were still doing it. And I was like, hey,
that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. I love that.
I miss the old restaurants. I was gonna say though, like, I don't necessarily need to have the experience walking back into a McDonald's. I just want to find where they got rid of some of like those trees and stuff that they had with the faces around. Like, I want to get those and incorporate them into my house. Like, I want to live in this weird looking enchanted forest of burgers and fries.
It's just like Long John Silver's as well. They changed that restaurant.
Oh yeah.
All you gotta do, Oz, is type in McDonald Land play sets in YouTube. You're gonna see there are collectors. There are people mending them. There are people putting them in their yards. It's so much fun to watch. I guess they're out there. You just have to find them and have the means.
I'm looking them up right now. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to get them.
Yeah. Sorry, John. We do this. Sorry.
No, I'm the same way, and it's like that's me talking about this stuff. It's like my wife just like she doesn't get it. She's like, why are you watching commercials on YouTube? That's like, I mean, like I just, I'll just randomly go on.
What are you watching now?
Yeah. So just look over like, why are you watching commercials from 1987? It's like, well,
I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love bringing up, especially the old like Dunkin' Donuts commercials.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Trying to make the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts tasted better when Fred was making them.
Oh man,
where's the beef?
Oh, where's the beef? Next, you should do an action figure of that old lady.
That'd be great. The trio. Oh man,
it's so good. Oh man,
you know what happened too one day. You know it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Golden Girls is selling like crazy. I'm sure they'll get the where's the beef people from Wendy's.
Here's what I've discovered: they are listening or they're not listening. But when you when you put an idea out into the universe, there's a good chance within the next 5 years it's going to happen. That's been my experience.
It is. It's true.
So let's just keep talking about it. Let's, you know, McDonald Land figures, realistic McDonald Land figures, Pirates of the Caribbean action figures, Haunted Mansion action figures. Where's the beef, old lady? We need it all.
The Micro Machine mustache guy.
Micro Machine mustache.
Ace, I know you're listening right now. Get Ramen Toy on all of this.
Oh yes, definitely. We gotta have Ace on one of these days.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely reach out to him. But this shot right here is probably, again, one of those reasons I've wanted to get back into real Ghostbusters so bad.
This is John, buddy. This is a masterpiece. This is so good. I just love this. Look at Orko. He's genuinely concerned.
Okay.
He's crapping his pants right
Yeah,
now.
he's like, holy shit.
Yeah, and pretty much like I actually came from a request. AJ from For Eternity, I'm cool with, and I knew Oz. I mean, he mentioned in the past he likes real Ghostbusters. He's from that, you know, he's from that family, and yeah, I think these were these Diamond Select Ghostbusters. I think these were actually when I started getting back into 1/12 scale. These were like one of the first ones I kind of picked up, and because again, for me it was Motu, G.I. Joe, Ghostbusters, and Turtles as far as like my main lines that I collected.
Yeah.
Like if you went in my toy room and you saw, you know, like all my toys scattered around, you would see like a big pile of He-Man, a big pile of G.I. Joe, Ghostbusters, and Turtles. Everything else would be kind of like onesie twosies from the wave. So seeing these and kind of real tune accurate Ghostbusters, I was like, oh man, these things look amazing.
I mean, you know,
this
is Venkman right here, and you look at the jumpsuit that he's wearing on that Diamond Select figure, and I mean, of course, this is just, you know, your typical 5 POA, not much to it, but that figure is just a masterpiece.
Yeah, look at that.
And they went into detail, like, again, with even Winston there. Like, again, he's got that mint color jumpsuit. You know, here, thanks, Skelly. You know, I mean, those look great. They are the definite, like, upgrades from the original figures here.
Yeah, I do need to get those classic ones from Kenner, though. I mean, I have a real, I don't know if it's a fond memory, but I do have a very vivid memory of getting Winston. I was, me and my sister, she was babysitting me, and she had me, we were just playing this game where she had me by my ankles and was swinging me around my parents' room, and actually hit my head on the side of the bed. And I was just like gushing blood. I was like screaming and everything. And she was freaked out. I mean, she was just like completely freaked out. And then my dad was coming home from work, and he's just like, what the heck happened? What's going on? And I remember being wheeled because they're gonna patch me up at the hospital. It was just crazy because again, I'm the youngest of 3 kids. So I'm the baby, and my brother was all pissed off because he was at my sister. He's thinking like, oh, dad's gonna blame me. You know, it's like, and
yeah, we all know how that goes.
Yeah, and I remember vividly my dad asking me like, what, you know, anything you want, anything you want, what do you want? I want a Ghostbuster. I remember saying that, you know, as they were wheeling me down into, because I think they had already started to kind of, you know, sedate me and stuff to put the stitches in. But I remember saying that, and then coming home and I really wanted Venkman, but you know, when my dad showed up, he's the
hardest one to find.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was the second one I got after Winston, but yeah, I mean, my dad showed up probably as soon as they took me in to get past, they probably drove down to Toys R Us and you know, got him. And I came home and I was like, I didn't care. I mean, I just wanted one of them because they had just started coming out. It's probably was like what 86 or so, I think when the original line was released. But yeah, I mean, it's just I'll never forget that. It's just crazy how I was probably like 5 years old or whatever when that happened, or 4. But yeah, that was the first one. That's the first Ghostbuster I got was Winston, and that was because my sister you know, cut me open. But no, again, this is just that, you know, the what I would do as a kid, and a lot of times I would play with my Ghostbusters with my Predator action figure.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That
I
makes
don't know.
sense.
I don't know why that was a crossover I needed to see happen, but I did have.
You have like the Fright Features Ghostbusters figures? Because they always look so terrified when the Predator decloaked in my mind, and then they just
you talking about the ones that you squeeze their arms and like their eyes were bulged out and
eyes
their hair
bulged out.
Yeah, man. I had every. Oh, man, there's just like I had like the ones that were like kind of neon colored jumpsuits where you splash, splash with water and like they get like the slime effect on there, and yeah, just all the different variations. And then for this one, it's just like, well, it'd be funny if if the Ghostbusters for some reason they were chasing after Orko, mistook him for a ghost. Which I mean, not to go off a tangent on the Ghostbusters, but I mean, Orko would look like something that they would see because they didn't really just fight ghosts in the cartoon. I mean, they fought demons and stuff. I mean, stuff that would just be nightmares.
Absolutely, it would make sense. I really need to see Ghostbusters find themselves in Eternia now. They'd just be trying to shoot at everything.
Yeah.
What the hell's that? What the hell's that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely having the Ghostbusters go and get Scareglow. Like that's gonna happen.
Yes, absolutely.
They're going after Boo Berry. They're going after Scareglow. These guys are hitting up every ghost.
I still haven't seen the cartoon yet.
It's good.
Oh, you got to, Bobby.
Oh, the real Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
All right. Bobby,
I love the movie, but I've seen the movie a million times, but I've never seen the cartoon.
It doesn't really compare to the movie, but it's
it's so different. You've got to see the Boogeyman episodes.
Yeah,
those ones are the best. I'm going to send you a link, Bobby.
Yeah, I YouTubed that when after we talked about that. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I have them all on Amazon. I watch them.
Terrifying. I have an assignment for you, John.
What's that?
Do you have any Popeye action figures?
No, I do not.
If you ever get a Popeye action figure, I really want to see Popeye facing off against Clawful. And it's gonna be a long time before I get myself a Popeye action figure.
That would be nice, yeah.
They do got some good ones now.
Oh yeah, they do.
Popeye figures.
Yeah, and he's in the toy photography community. Yeah, he's all over the place, man. It's like and I think that's what gets me kind of like, man, maybe I should just get it just because I see so many people take great photos of him, and it's like, well, I want to try. I want to try that myself because it seems like he's just a real go-to for.
He's expensive, man.
Oh yeah,
he is.
And this,
the shots.
Come on, I mean, I'm not a huge Thundercats fan. I've said that 1,000 times, but I still love
1,001.
1,001.
I'm gonna make it 1,002.
Oh, so I love seeing these characters together, though. Because it just takes me back to the afternoons watching He-Man, and it'd be followed up by Thundercats, or Thundercats followed up by He-Man, and it just makes a lot of sense. They live in the same territory.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I mean, and I know there was a couple of DC comics that came out with that covered the crossover already, but for me, it's like as a kid, like it was just like peanut butter and jelly, Thundercats and He-Man. They just seem like, without understanding studios and everything like that, and like I just figured like, oh, let's just say another a spin-off or just they live in the same universe. Thundercats and He-Man, they just
different parts of the same universe.
Yeah, and again with these Super 7 Ultimates and everything, I think the Lion-O was my first Super 7 figure that I picked up, and man, as soon as I got him and I opened him up, I was just like, God, this thing is just like so amazing. I know there's people out there that just aren't fond of Super 7, and I get it too. I get some of the QC issues that arise, but with this Lion-O, I just love him. It's like that's just my ultimate version of him. And then for this photo, it was just, and that was like immediately the first thing I was thinking, like, I gotta have him in a crossover with He-Man, in some fashion. I did a couple other ones where he's facing off against He-Man, and then this one here was just like, again, trying to like you know, moving the camera around, moving them around, moving, you know, doing different setups. And finally, I just landed on this one, and then just, you know, kind of did a little color correction in post. But yeah, I mean, this is like one to me. I think this is one of my favorite ones. I go back and look at this, going, man, why can't I get like a shot like this here again? Because this came out so not, you know, in my eyes, so right, you know, going exactly for what I was going for. Because a lot of times it may not work out the way I planned out, but this one, yeah, definitely, you know, I had an idea of what I wanted to do, and it came out exactly how I wanted it to.
Yeah, I think the Lion-O's Super 7 Ultimates is very reminiscent of the cartoon version.
Yep.
And this Skeletor is you know, obviously the Revelation cartoon version, but he matches really well with the background, so it's a good combination. I was just thinking, like, part of me was like, do you have the Filmation style Skeletor? That would be a cool photo to have both cartoon style action figures together, but it would really stand out from the background. I don't know if it would work as well as this does, actually. So I was having a conflict inside my brain while you were talking about it. And also, just to go back to Super 7 really quick, no matter what people say, I can't dislike them because of one thing. The Filmation figures that they came out with for Masters of the Universe are some of my favorite figures.
Yeah, mine too. I just think they're expensive.
They're just the $20 for a reaction figure.
Yeah, that's what makes me angry. Yeah, because
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I know.
It's like the pop phenomenon with those type of figures, those reaction figures.
Yeah,
and they charge way too much for them. I think, in my opinion, I don't know how much it costs for them to make it, but
Bobby, you're absolutely right.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Oz. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, Skelly.
I was just going to say that one thing I have discovered about them is that their reaction figures, and I'm on the fence about this because $20 is too much. But
yes,
but I have noticed that the quality of their card back art has grown substantially. I think that they're spending more time making the entire item be what you're paying for, as opposed to just the plastic figure. And I think I don't know, but I feel like they're working. I feel like they're working on it. But I understand that. I understand. I'm in a total quandary about it because that the weirdest Zomberger character they just announced. I'm in love with it. I'm totally on the fence. I'm in love with it. I love the Electric Mayhem figures that I found at Target. I'm such a hypocrite, but because it's like I will fall for it.
Well, that was the thing. I wanted to get that Sesame Street the count, but I didn't get it yet.
Well, the big one,
that one's really expensive. That's like $300. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that expensive when I first saw it. But the reaction figure that they got coming out of the count looks good, but I don't want to spend $20 plus shipping for him.
I want to just tell you, Bobby, it's gonna be beautiful. I'm not trying to sell you on it, but that thing looks amazing, and on the card, it's gonna just be gorgeous. You love the count. It just don't have Popeye's chicken for 3 days, and you'll be fine.
Well, I did have the count when I was a kid. I had the big pup. It was a big rubber-headed puppet. Right? Remember those old puppets? Oh yeah, I used to have that with Bert and Ernie. Oh, yeah. I had the count, and then he's always one of my favorites.
The best.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to spend $20 on it.
Would you spend $20 on that puppet?
That puppet? Well, it's because it's vintage.
Would you do it though?
Yes.
Okay, but it's not that cheap right now.
No, I know that.
Well, here's the thing: you spend $20 on like a 5-inch puppet, you actually feel like you're getting your worth out of it. Right. The issue with the reaction figure, and this is what really kind of takes it out, is that reaction figures are simple little 5 POA in a 3.75-inch scale. If they were selling it strictly online, I would say that yes, $20 is more worth it.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's mass retail in-store flooding pegs.
Well, not all the figures they come out with.
Not all of them, but the vast majority of their reaction line is sold at mass retail. You can go into a store and you can pick them up in any collection section, and you can pick it up in their regular toy departments. You can pick up the Transformers, the Sunbow G.I. Joes.
Yep.
You know, you can get over in their collector sections. You can get like horror versions, TMNT. All of them are there. You can get all of that stuff there. So I don't even want to hear about the paying for licensing and everything like that they need to do for those. And then you have Kenner, who is renowned for charging well over what a figure should be, selling for $10, half the cost, the same figure, better quality in a lot of ways on the box art, making it look like the old vintage Kenner retro style Star Wars.
See, that stuff drives me nuts.
$11.99.
Right.
$11.99
versus $17.99 for the same exact product.
I will tell you though, the reaction figures that I have, like the Phantom Star Killer, that little thing is fucking gorgeous. Like, you take it, you hold it, you look at it, it's solid. The paint applications are great. I'm gonna stand by this, and it's only because I want Bobby to have that count. Bobby, I will go through my toy box. I will send you stuff to sell.
No, you already sent enough stuff. I don't need any more.
Well, please don't. Count. I don't have much. You probably can only get like $5 for the things I'll send you. But it'll be something.
Then you've also they've got those Secret Wars Marvel figures.
Yeah.
Those are $11.99 too. Oh no, not Secret Wars. Secret Wars.
Yeah, they're the Secret Wars styled figures. Now, again, mind you, at this point, most of them are going for even lower than that at $6.99.
Yeah,
and you can find them at like dollar stores and stuff like that now.
I have not.
But it's that same product.
Yeah,
and it's half the price.
I'm also going to put this out here. I don't want anybody to be sending me that figure. I don't want nobody to buy it for me. I don't want to see it. I don't. Please don't. I always put my foot in my mouth when I say, I wish I could get this or whatever. I please don't. I don't need anything.
The one thing about this community is that if you receive an act of kindness, you gotta just say thank you, because
grin and
I'm not bringing this out there for people to all of a sudden send it to me. I don't want that.
I'm sure they'll think of something else to send you.
Just send me a card that says, "Hey."
A card.
Let's send it to him right now. It's going to be a horse that's going to say, "Hey."
That's right. Or a picture of a hot dog or something. I don't care.
We
don't spend money on me, please.
We don't get the choice of the random acts of kindness.
Yeah, it's
fantastic that everybody does them. It's a lot of fun. It's really great. Absolutely love seeing I've actually, John, you sent me the Vicron. I know the whole group sent me all those Mythic Legions and everything like that. As fun as it is to get surprised, I always find it fun when we get to see other people's reactions to what they receive and when they receive it.
Bobby doesn't want to get it because he's going to cry, and he doesn't.
Well, I mean, the thing is, too, I have a hard time with things like that, where people giving me things, but I also I can't afford to do the reciprocation back at this point.
Well,
sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, right.
That's how it goes.
Yeah,
that's the great part about it being a community effort, is you only chip in what you have, and if you just don't have it, then you don't have
actually,
it.
That's not really what gifts are about anymore.
No, I get that. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I've always been that way. I just it's weird to me.
I get uncomfortable with gifts. I get emotional with gifts. That's my problem, and I can't just be. I'm the same way. I feel like I can't just accept it. It was really hard for me to when Chris sent me this 3D printed Skeletor thing. He's like, I don't want anything, dude, and I was like, I want to send you something. He's like, I don't want anything, and it's hard. It's hard for me. And so, yeah, I get it, Bobby. Man,
Yeah.
it is a conflict. And
Yeah,
also,
I've talked with Amato about this as well because he's been in the same place, you know, and
Yeah.
we've discussed it.
Yeah.
He has the same feelings I do, but it's just, yeah, it's
For
just
sure.
weird.
Yeah,
We
I mean,
all-
I'm the same way too. I mean, it's always for me. It's like I mean, I get so much joy. Like when I saw Bud's reaction to that Duplico in that 2000X, I was like
Yeah.
grinning from ear to
Yeah.
ear. And they're just like, you know, well, and that was during, you know, my wife's family was here. Like, what's going on? Oh, it's nothing. I just, you know, I just, you know, you know, just buddy of mine. He got something that we sent him. So it's like, yeah, that's always good. And then when I, you know, got that 2-pack from, I was like, just like, what the heck, you know? I mean, for me, I was like, I just couldn't believe that, you know, everybody had, you know, gone together to get me that, you know, that you know, Mythic Legions 2-pack. And even now I'm kind of getting choked up thinking about, because I was like, that really, you know, meant something to me, you know, during that, you know, when you know, just losing, you know, going through losing my dad and everything. So, and again, it's not even the fact that if anybody chips in, it's more or less just like, hey, just, you know, you know, just saying condolences or just giving support in any way. That's just like, I think that's what's great about the community and people just, you know, there to support each other.
Yep.
we just all happen to be really interested in things that work out really well as gifts sometimes.
Yeah.
Now this I want to ask you about the fire effect on the Mandalorian's jetpack here. You said that you found this as clip art, but I feel like that smoke looks so realistic. It's
Yeah, it does.
that looks like
well, yeah. I guess really that's what it is. It's like an actual like flame effect that I found, you know, on Google, and then just luckily it was on a black background, and then I was able to, you know, just go in there and layer it in with Photoshop.
that's
Using that.
amazing.
It is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and it's the same one that I used for Stratos, but
Yeah.
this was actually for it was a photo challenge competition that I submitted for, and actually got into the second round.
Hey, cool.
So I was actually, because again, I probably was gonna. It was like send out your best Mando shot. It was for Sir Dork, his little photo tournament that he was
Cool.
having, and I was like, I don't know. It's like I couldn't really come up with anything, and then just spur of the moment, I just came up with this shot. I just like, oh, let me just have him just like kind of just in midair, just gliding a little bit, and just, you know, something.
I love the smoking barrel too. You know,
Yeah.
he's just popped somebody. You know, it's just happened, and now he's all like, "Yeah, I'm chilling up here. That's cool. I got my target."
Yeah. And that was actually the smoke to the barrel and everything. I was like, let me just add that in. While I was kind of just messing in Photoshop, I was like, let me just add that, see how that looks. Like, oh, that actually works out. But again, going back to what I said earlier, I mean, I knew I wanted to add this flame effect, so I wanted to make sure, you know, to incorporate lighting to match that, to show that, yeah, I mean, just to, you know, give the semblance that if that jetpack was real, then there would be some sort of like bounce back from the light.
That really is what makes it look real here, is that the red reflected light on the rest of his armor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's just like what an accomplishment here.
Oh, but thank you. But yeah, I mean, that was just something that just kind of came up on the fly.
Yeah, I love it. And then classic, right? I mean, this is
right.
great. Tell us about the smoke here. Is it the same type of thing that you did? Was you found the mist elsewhere, or is this actual like physical?
No, this was actually my first time messing with fog brushes in Photoshop and kind of just messing around. And just again, it's just an effect that you can go in there and just, you know, add. You know, you can find them online, just download them and then just add them to Photoshop, and you know, you can adjust the size of it and how much you want, the color of it, and then just go in there, just add it where you want it to. But yeah, I think this was like my first shot of the Crimson Guard, and I just knew like, oh, I gotta have him with Cobra Commander, and just have this kind of like just this, you know, on each side of them, just have this shot. And it's again, I immediately knew what I was going for, and then how I want it to look, and like as far as color correction, and just make it a little bit more, make it seem like they are in some sort of like like with the floor, make it seem like there's fluorescent lights above them, halogens or something, just lighting, shining down, like in a warehouse or in some sort of facility that Cobra would be running. So
I mean, this looks just like a film still.
Yeah, it does.
It's just like a scene from the movie, from a better version of
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's Retaliation. I mean, they actually got the look of Cobra Commander right. It's just everything else was
At
just
least.
yeah, that was.
Was that the one with Destro? And I couldn't even look at him.
That was the second one. Well, yeah,
Retaliation was the second one.
Yeah, where they got Cobra Commander right, but then the first one was just that god awful. Like, what the heck that?
Well, I mean, you had Christopher Eccleston doing Destro, which I mean, as
work,
like a civilian Destro without a mask on, it worked. I could dig it, but I also needed like that domineering Destro in the mask, and after it just couldn't pull it off. The Dr. Mindbender character was so weird. And then, spoiler alert for all you guys who apparently for some reason didn't go see the G.I. Joe movie and you've had a chance, like the Cobra Commander flip at the end of the movie just ruined that whole thing for me. Like, you got rid of Dr. Mindbender completely now because he was Cobra Commander the whole friggin' time, and he didn't even look right.
Is that what that was? I didn't see the movie because it looked stupid to me.
Oh, God, it was not.
There's a lot of movies out there that are based off of stuff that I just don't watch because I know it's going to be crap.
Yep.
I was excited for it initially.
Yeah, and that was so disappointing to me because I was just like, God, man, it's like how can you not make a G.I. Joe movie? Like, I mean, it's like it's right there. I mean, it's literally right there. I mean, to make.
I mean, the universe.
It's like I didn't even like the Transformers because to me they're very hard to figure out who was who.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell. Besides Optimus Prime is easy, but
yeah, it was funny. I was actually watching a few weeks ago. I was trying to watch the Last Night. I think that's one of them, and I stopped halfway through. I was like, it's just too much, like too much noise, too much going on, just quick cuts, and just it was just sensory overload. I can't watch this anymore. I just turned it off because I just like, I mean, those Bayformers. The first one I can watch.
First one was decent. I appreciated the first one. I agree with Bobby. At first, it was really tough to tell which Transformer was which because I mean, again, their vehicles weren't necessarily they weren't all the iconic vehicles that we had seen in the cartoon growing up. For various reasons, they couldn't use certain ones. That's cool. I get that. But like, as that story kept getting deeper, I was like, what? Like, things don't have to be exactly as it was in the cartoon. I can totally get away from that. It can be its own separate media. That's fine.
It at least looks kind of close to tell.
Yeah, that would be nice. And it just, I don't know. It got this weird plot line. I didn't care for it as much. And by the time Last Night rolled around, I was like, I am so out of this. Just done with this franchise. I still haven't watched Bumblebee, and I want to see Rise of the Beasts because I was a big fan of Beast Wars, but we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't seen Rise of the Beast. I saw Bumblebee, and I mean that first 5 minutes of them on Cybertron. I mean where they actually look like Bobby's saying, they look like their G1 versions. I mean literally on the Soundwave coming out. I'm like, oh god, and in him Decepticons.
Yeah, I love Soundwave. He's my favorite.
It's like what? Just give us this. Just just give us a whole movie of this. But yeah, for Joe, I was always a more G.I. Joe fan than I was Transformers. Mainly just because I think my brother was still, even though he's 9 years older than me, he was into Transformers still, even though he was getting out of having toys. But and so he kind of kept those to himself, and I couldn't really play with them. And so I stuck with G.I. Joe.
I love this because I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, and that's my favorite character is Sub-Zero.
Yeah,
I love Sub-Zero.
Yeah, he's always been my favorite. Well, all the ninjas, but out of all of them, Sub-Zero was always my
Sub-Zero is my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah,
Scorpion was my favorite, but again, a fan of all of the ninjas.
Yeah.
yeah, and this one here, this was a another photo challenge that it was basically go back to the first photo that you ever did, and or you know, one of your older photos and do like a reboot or a remaster of it, so to
Yeah.
speak. And I don't think I sent it to you, Skelly, but yeah, it's like my first photo. That's and this is based off my very first photo that I posted on Instagram, and it's just like, I mean, it's really not that great. And so I was like, well, let me just see if I can use the skills that I've acquired, and
Yeah.
you know, then within, you know, from you know, just from like a year of doing toy photography, and see if I can do a better job at it. And yeah, this is what I came up with. Again,
really
same
great.
diorama that I had for the first photo, but it was just the first photo was just like a big wide shot of just Sub-Zero in his, you know, pose.
Yeah.
But after learning about getting effects and doing things and, you know, color correction and just, you know, composition in general, and just showing, you know, having stuff in the foreground, having stuff in the background, and just, you know, just getting lighting kind of the way I wanted. And this again was another, you know, happy accident in the color correction, because I had a filter on, I didn't like it, and so I kind of got rid of it. But then I didn't get rid of it, I actually moved it down in, you know, in my layers, and actually gave it this blue hue. I was like, oh shoot, that's it. I mean, I got it. So again, this is like just, I mean, for me, I wanted to make it seem like, you know, yeah, you're in some sort of like you're in Sub-Zero's world right now. I mean,
Yeah.
It's
It's convincing.
yeah. And again, these storm collectibles, again, this is another, like, as I was getting into you know, getting back into 1/12 scale, I saw these guys like, oh, I gotta pick them up. And again, I got this guy on eBay because he was already sold, you know, he'd already come and gone, you know, through regular, you know, sell him and Scorpion. So yeah, I had to pay a pretty good price, but I no regrets on that. I mean, I love these guys, especially the Sub-Zero, because yeah, it's just, yeah, he was my favorite character. I'm like, every time I played the game, I always had to be Sub-Zero.
Yep. It was Sub-Zero or Cabal for me.
Yeah.
Oh, Cabal's another really good one.
Yeah. Yeah. I named my dog after him because I had a husky, but you know, because he had a mask, you know, like this black eyes.
Yeah.
So it reminded me of a
Yeah.
mask, and he was quick. So I called him Cabal because of that.
That's awesome. I love the background of this one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It looks like, you know what it reminds me of? The Penguin's lair in Batman Returns underneath the zoo, you know?
Yep.
I was thinking more of the Cold Miser.
Oh, totally.
Nice.
No, that's great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. Oh, go ahead, John. Keep talking. Just don't move off this picture.
Well, no, I was gonna just say, like, yeah, I mean, again, the fact that these, you know, these figures are so well made now. Because I remember I was enamored with the GI Joe Sub-Zero that I had, you know, when they, you know, coming out figures back in the '90s, and then seeing these the way they're made now, it's like, God, man, these things are so amazing.
Yeah, I was going to pick these up. I never did, though. I just didn't want to get into another line of figures.
Yeah. Street Fighter is another one. Yeah. Well, for me, it's like, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but if I was going to get one, and I don't think he's out, or if they made one yet, a Vega, like that's.
Yeah, he was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another one where it's like, I got to be Vega whenever I play the game.
Oz requested that we stay on the image, so he's got
Just
something
for a minute.
cooking.
I'm working my magic. Give me time. I'm doing the best I can.
I love how the eyes of Sub-Zero is like glowing like that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and that kind of I've kind of perfected, or kind of like learned different things here and there since then, and figured out how to do lightsabers and kind of more of a glow effect with the eyes and stuff like that. So
that's so cool.
Again, yeah, you just pick up stuff, or you just, you know, if you have an idea of what you want to do, and if you're not sure on how to do it, just research it or go on YouTube, and yeah, there's a lot of helpful tips out there.
Trial and error, you know.
Yeah.
Click, like you were saying earlier. You click on a few things, try a few things, and then, watch a couple YouTube videos. It's that kind of creative exploration is fun.
It is, yeah, it really is, because you just, I mean, you don't know what you don't know, and you just kind of just messing around, and just sometimes stuff happens, and then you realize, oh man, that came out great, and then you just save it. And like that, and I can always reference it back later on how I created that. Like I still have that file of that in Photoshop. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
that
awesome.
first shot.
That's the first one.
Yep, same figure, same diorama, but just a year
But
later.
that diorama?
No, I got him on. I think Etsy.
Very cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, I think it's an actual, because that's the Lin Kuei. I think that's their symbol.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
But yeah, that's the other thing too. I mean, I've dabbled in kind of foam core, trying to make, but not at the level of Skelly and other people. It's like, I wish I could do that, but I don't have the the patience or the talent for that, because that's just like
It's
the
the same
people
thing as working in Photoshop, man. You just gotta try.
It is. I've made a couple like just simple backgrounds, but man, like to make like a snake bound like the one he did, I mean, jeez, man. It's like
Well,
I need to see if Skelly can do a 1/12 scale though, Fright Zone. I need to see about that.
Let's talk about it.
Because the
I would
Fright Zone,
love
that was always my favorite, and it's like play set. Even though I had Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain, but the Fright Zone was like, I don't know why that was always the one I used.
Every square inch of Fright Zone was playtime, like every part of it. With Grayskull, the front side was for looks, the inside was for play. With Snake Mountain, the front side of it was for play, the inside of it was for looks.
Yeah.
Fright Zone, whole thing, play all the way.
I love the Fright. I mean, I love all the play sets. I would love to build another Fright Zone one of these days. Building that one was so much fun to build. The dragon or the beast monster was the biggest challenge, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, that came out really good.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, I did. And I like I saw your video where you're transporting it, and just seeing that guy's collection. Holy crap! I was like, whoa, that was that was impressive. Very, very impressive. I was like, dang, that was
he bought some of those on some of his pieces from Etsy, and then some other diorama makers. But that Grayskull that he has, the Filmation style Grayskull, it's like
with the bridge and everything, and
5 feet tall, and it's like a wall piece. It's so cool. Yeah, he's got a great collection, and all those classics figures. Seeing them there,
yeah,
it's when I dropped it off at his place, I was just like, you can't see it because Thanos is in my way, but I was like this.
Oh, I imagine, yeah. I was like that just watching the video. I was like, holy crap! I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, well, it's pretty cool. I bet your collection room is equally as magnificent.
Oh no, I mean, nothing like that. Nothing with like as far as like the dio, like those kind of pieces like that. It's just impressive. Now I can think about like, God, I mean, I could do so much as far as shooting, and just like I could just spend hours just like photographing it.
Definitely,
it looks so amazing.
This Wolverine picture makes me really happy. The background, the foreground, the lighting, his contemplative stance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good. It's not what you expect from a Wolverine picture, too. We an action picture with Wolverine of him, doing his thing. This is more like something we would see in a movie or something we would see in a comic book, like the real Wolverine.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yep.
It's pretty much almost, with the exception of him not laying in his bed in the X Mansion, this is pretty much the exact scene from the cartoon. He's got the picture and he's popping the claws.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, because it's been done to death. The the bed, the bed pose. I'm trying to get something different, and it's like, I mean, I kind of I bring this up all the time, and even my friends who know I'm into toy collecting, they see my collection, or they see if I get something and they'll see like, why did it come with a picture, like all these little accessories. And I think for part of it, I think they do have the toy photographer in mind, I think sometimes, because I mean, I mean, it is a classic moment, him having the picture of Jean and Scott, even though I was like, why Scott in there? But it should be like just scratched out or something. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of like we were saying, you know, earlier about the Batman 66 sets and everything, and all this, all the accessories that come with it. And I think it's just, you know, again, just having these props available really stands out. And I knew I wanted to create, you know, like some, you know, maybe sunset. You know, he's out in the, you know, he's out in the woods somewhere, and he's got the photo, and he just, you know, his whole just like Jean, you know, just
Yeah.
just in love with her, you know, in love with her, and can't have her.
Yeah.
And those trees, actually, I think I brought it up before too. Yeah, those are the ones I found. I made out of, again, just tissue paper and empty toilet paper roll
Nice.
and paint. That's all it was. It's like simple. Those actually, you know, I did find some tutorials online. Kind of took little like tips here and there, but
Yeah.
no, I did it and then just painted them. And me and my wife was like, "Oh man, that's pretty good." You like, you made those? Like, yeah. And it's like, and for this, they just work because they're in the background, but they give the sense that, yeah, he is in the woods, and they're just out of focus. But you know, you can tell what they are.
Yeah.
And then the other greenery stuff is just stuff you can find at Michael's. Just that, you know, those shrub, you know, the little greenery things you just put in to kind of fill in the frame.
Yeah, it's a masterful scene. It's emotional. It's believable. It's great.
Yeah, and the background, the very background, is just a gradient orange background that I put on a monitor. Pretty much, that's all it is.
Amazing.
One of the other neat things about this shot too is one of the things that a lot of people don't like about the figure is the cell shading. You know, because it does have that cell shading look, but because of the composition of the photograph here, the cell shading just fits.
Yeah.
And it really works with that, you know, that paint scheme with this image. It helps give it that animated but not look, and it really adds again to the overall picture that you took.
Yeah, and that again, that's have that in mind, because the cell shading, even though I do like it, but it is kind of hard to photograph sometimes. And I'm just glad it just worked out for this point here, because a lot of times it's just it is hard to kind of
when you're taking the time to compose the shot and get the lighting that you want in it, and then here is this purposefully painted shadow in an area that you want to light up, it doesn't always work.
Right.
So you've really made that work for you to your advantage in this shot.
Yeah, for sure. It works. In fact, I didn't even realize that until you pointed it out, Oz. That there was this figure.
Yeah, if you look, the inside of the opposite leg has the shell shading that you know the outside of the leg we're looking at does. Underneath of his pec and around his abs where the arm goes, that's all cell shaded color.
Up on the
not
top of the
just
head,
the shadow. Yep. And with the lighting that you chose, it looks just like the shadow.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, thank you, because that was what I was going for.
Yeah, it worked. You convinced me. I didn't even know. That's fantastic.
It's only because I know the toy so well.
Yeah, Oz knows the toys. So, one thing I wanted to ask you as we come to the end here. Let me just take this off and we get you. I'm going to get you full screen here in a little bit. No, we won't do that to you. But I wanted to hear what your advice might be for people who are just starting out in action figure photography. What would you do different, or what kind of advice would you give people just starting out and getting motivated?
Really, just don't get frustrated, and just don't make it like once it feels like it's not fun anymore, then it's over, because it's like then it's like, I enjoy doing this. I love setting up again idea and setting up a shot and taking photos, and just if it's a new figure that I have, I can't wait to open them up and then start posing them and creating a scene. But just don't get frustrated, and just you know, just keep practicing, just keep practicing, and take plenty of photos, and just keep, you know, try different things, you know, maybe step out of your comfort zone. If you don't feel like, oh, I can't do action shots, well, try it, you know, because I never messed around with, you know, flight stands or anything like that, or try and do those kind of, you know, those type of shots. But I was like, well, let me try it, just because I'm, you know, I won't know until I do it, and if I'm, you know, any good at it, or even know how to do it. And when I started doing it, it's like, oh, it's not too bad. I can, you know, I can do this. I can get them up in the air. I can get them in a, you know, certain pose, and now it's like, now it's just part of my, you know, toolkit, you know, able to do those. But I mean, you know, we saw my first shot. I mean, I mean, that's just like real basic. Just, you know, put the figure there. You know, I mean, you can even see, like, you know, that the ends of the diorama and everything. Just like I mean, you could tell, like, he's like, this is like a fake set and stuff. But I mean, again, that was just over a year ago when I started that, and it just, again, just trying different things, and just, again, just doing it, and again, just, I mean, don't get frustrated, and then just go out there, and what I do is, like, I'll try not to mimic, but get inspiration from other toy photographers. I know Trevor, 1/6 shooter. He does amazing work, and the stuff he does with Mythic. I mean, I look at that and try and incorporate that. You know, not copy it, but just try and see. It gets me wanting to go in and shoot like this guy here. I mean, you know, like, wanting to just get a lot of good shots of this guy, and with my own style. But I mean, just go out there and just get inspired from other toy photographers, and maybe, and understand, and kind of analyze their pictures, and kind of just look at it and say, okay, that light looks like he's got like something, you know, like a softbox up on top of him, and he's got like a side light here at this, or a bounce over here. Kind of maybe start looking at those pictures, and understanding how they got that to look the way they did, you know. And I think that's, you know, that you can incorporate with your own pictures. Go, you know, and say, well, you know, this picture here had like a real, you know, it had like a highlight here, and let me incorporate that, and then you just build onto it, and then before you know it, like, oh man, it's like, I got a pretty cool picture, you know, and just from like taking like what I learned or what I saw in other photos, and incorporating that into my own style.
I think you said several really important things. The first being, if it's not fun,
Yeah.
then, you know, it's essentially, if it's not fun, then who are you doing it for?
Exactly.
You know, and the other thing was, you know, don't be afraid to try things. You know, continue to push yourself to do different things. So, in a way, if you're thinking about investing time in a creative activity like this, you got to be ready for that contradictory feeling. This is a lot of work. So can work be fun? And absolutely, right? But the moment it doesn't, then you got to ask yourself why you're doing it. And so when people say I can't do that, my first instinct is, well, you're just maybe not interested in doing it. And you know, be truthful to yourself. Do you really want to do that? Maybe you don't. Right. But if you do, then gosh darn it, get in there and try. You know, I love hearing you talk about your work, because it's very clear that you view it as a kind of expression that you're enjoying, and that's the type of activity that, you know, will always affect the viewer in a positive way, in a way that'll make them think too. You're enjoying it, so obviously you're thinking about it, and therefore your viewers are going to be like, yeah, that's cool. It's doing it too. I mean, that Wolverine picture, I said it. It's emotional.
Yeah.
And it comes through. You know, we don't have to be sad to create an emotional photograph. We can still be having fun and make an emotional photograph. So yeah, great stuff, man. John, thank you so much for being on tonight. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it, and I don't want to speak for Bobby and Oz. I'll let them speak for themselves. But
no, it's been great. Yeah.
Yeah, loving hearing you talk about this stuff.
I appreciate it. You know, I mean, when you asked me to be on, I was like, oh man, I get to be on the Frenzy. Awesome. It's like, you know,
That's cool. We're just a bunch of weirdos talking about shit.
but no, it's good. I mean, because again, it's like, you know, I mean, nobody gets it in my circle here, you know, with coworkers, friends, and family. So it's like, you know, having that outreach to actually talk about, you know, stuff, you know, that I grew up with and stuff that I enjoy. Because again, I enjoy all of this, and it's just not, you know, a lot of people don't get it. So being able to share it with y'all is always like that.
Thanos' statement, I love it. I love doing it because it gives me a new way to enjoy my toys. Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's right.
Goes back to that fun.
Yeah, and it's like, and for me, it's also like a fallback too when I retire, because it's like, I mean, I want to, you know, have something, because again, it gets me, you know, using my brain a lot, and and being able to just have that creativeness afterwards, you know, when you know, when I'm done working, where I work at, it's like, okay, what am I going to do now? I've seen that a lot with people that retire, especially where I'm at. They just, you know, they have nothing else, because it's just that they're 100% of their jobs, and having something like that, like this, something where, you know, I can keep doing it, essentially, hopefully I can, you know, and, you know, years down the road, and you know, just you know, just get better at it, you know, hopefully, and who knows what, you know, might take me, but at least I can still keep enjoying something, you know, as I get older in my life.
And you also said something really important. I think it resonates with all of us just now. Before I mentioned Thanos's statement again, which was, you said it, sometimes we don't feel like everyone closest to us really may understand what it is we're doing and why we're doing it. So you know, again, that's a good lead into, you know, a big thank you to the community for being here for these shows, supporting our crazy creative endeavors. It's true, not everybody will understand it, but that's not going to stop us from doing it.
right.
And that having people like you all out there being here and engaging in conversation in the chat, and John being on here speaking so eloquently about his artistry, it's proof that there is an audience for this, and that it's serious business, this kind of fun, right? This fun's like serious. It's important, and it's art, not just the toy photography, but the toys themselves, you know. I'm getting behind the pulpit here. I didn't really mean to do that, but that's what happens, I guess.
No,
you're like always doing it again. But anyways, guys, final thought. Well, actually, John, where can people find you?
Right now, just on Instagram at Emerald Knight Photos. Just there on Instagram. I'm also part of the Geeked Out Clique, you know, another group of toy photographers that you know, I hang out with, and you know, we all support each other. Again, another community where, you know, everybody just, you know, shows love and support for one another. So that's what's great about, you know, being part of it. And yeah, I mean, at this point, yeah, just on Instagram, you can find me on there.
Cool. And it's like you just keep scrolling and scrolling, and it's so much fun. There's so much good stuff on his page, folks. Definitely go give Emerald Knight Photos a follow.
I've been following John pretty much since I've signed up for Instagram, and I love every single one of his photos. They're absolutely amazing. And even just scrolling back, because, you know, I had to scroll all the way to the beginning of his Instagram to pull up that picture of Sub-Zero.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's amazing to look at the journey all at once, because I see his posts every day, and I don't think about where it's developed and where it's evolved and how it came. So it is really cool taking this quick retrospect as I'm trying to hurriedly go back all the way to that first post so I could pull it up and we could show the comparison. But it's just phenomenal seeing his work. And, you know, so many we can all relate to each other because we all have similar interests, because we all grew up with these similar attributes. But it's really fun to see now, especially with these 6-inch scale figures. We all had that toy box when we were a kid. Not everything was uniform to scale or anything like that. But with the collector's market coming out with that almost universal scale at 6 to 7 inches now, everything kind of fits in, and watching this blending and mixing of the worlds together.
Yeah. Look at that.
It's pretty phenomenal. So
it is.
Again, John, I know you were like one of my first real guests that I had on my solo channel, one of my first patron members. It is fantastic having you on here and joining us for the Toy Frenzy, especially, again, coming up on this 1-year anniversary that we're building up to. So thank you for being here, brother.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Oz, Bobby, what you got coming up here? Anything exciting on the agenda?
Go on, Bobby.
I don't have anything really coming up besides, my
The next
50th birthday coming up, but that's about it.
That's coming up. Exciting.
Normally you bring the house down, for your birthday party. Now Bobby's going to burn the house down with all 50 candles lit.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Bobby's just going to be sitting back and going to sleep early and enjoying.
That's right. Once he hits over 50, he's got to start getting to bed by 9 o'clock. He's got to watch Matlock on repeat.
I've been doing that for years, and I'm 36, buddy.
Well, that's true, Skelly. You do have the earliest bedtime of us all, which is why it's always so special when you're able to do Toy Frenzy with us all late.
I do, but I also get up pretty early. But I know you all do too.
You get up earlier than most. You and Brick both get up earlier than everybody. Because
sometimes you wake me up too with you send me a post and like.
I wake up at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Everyone watching right now, this is what happens: 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Friday morning. I send them all a message that says how many people watched.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I gotta mute you now. I gotta start muting you.
Yeah, you don't mute me, man. I'm the whole day ahead of you.
I get up 6 o'clock my time, which is on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And it's like an hour or two after I'm getting up. I'm getting ready for, I'm actually getting ready to go to work, start my day at like 8:30. And Skelly's sending messages in the group chat. And I'm like, it's like 5 o'clock over there.
That's how I roll.
Ray Black joining us just at the end here.
Ray Black,
and hey, Toy Frenzy in chat. Glad to have you here, Ray. Thank you.
Must have been at bingo.
Oh, definitely a bingo.
All right, so next week, everybody that's in the chat, that's watching, and if you're watching later on, is part 2 of our viewer showcase.
The long-awaited part 2.
Yeah, long awaited.
Talking about it for 6 months now.
It's like a half a year since we did it, and I only have a few submissions, folks. So send your build photos, your custom photos, stuff that you're making, toy photography like Emerald Knight Photos is doing. Send that to skelevader@gmail.com. The email link is down below, and send 4 or 5 photos of stuff that you've been working on, and we will go ahead, Oz.
It doesn't have to be action figure related. Anything you're working on. If you are working on art of any kind, no matter what, send it.
I mean,
whatever you got going on.
How can this community, everybody that watches loves action figures, so it'll probably have something to do with that. But yeah, if you're out there shooting photographs of like
nature photos,
clouds and shit, send that our way. We would love to see that.
We want to see it. Architectural photos, doesn't matter.
If you're building a shed in your backyard, we want to see that. Like all of your activities. Yes, please. But I do.
In those shed photos.
The shed shouldn't be old and creepy. If it's new and you're building it now, then I'm interested.
I want to see an old and creepy haunted shed.
Me too. I'd rather see that.
It's been made to look that way.
Right. If you have
also, I have to say this though. I know I shouldn't, but if you do send things that you're making that are slightly inappropriate that we obviously wouldn't be able to show on here, we're not going to show it. So just think about what you send.
That's right.
But it's so much fun. It's so much fun to show the work that you all are doing. The toy community is inherently creative, so it's going to be a lot of fun to show what you're all working on. I'm real excited about it. Even with just the stuff that I've received so far, we've got a lot to talk about. But we'd love to have more. So do send those photos to the email that's down below. Also, Thanos. No, well, first of all, we know Thanos's photographs. Yes, but what's great about Thanos is he didn't send those. He sent other things.
Right. He's got a lot of other stuff going on too.
His photographs are phenomenal. Like. And those of you who enjoy the other ones better, that's more power to you.
Those are funny,
Yeah, they're funny.
They are funny. Also, if you want a Toy Frenzy something, the shop link is right down below. Feel free to go over there and have a look at a few things. In fact, I'm thinking about getting myself a pint glass one of these days so I can have the Toy Frenzy water glass.
I want the official Toy Frenzy tumbler.
Yeah, Oz. You'll never have one like Oz's. Although I have one that's similar to that, but
you gave me the idea. So.
And also down below, if you're interested in becoming a patron of the channel, if you want to become a Patreon for Oz or Bobby or Skele or Adam or Shawn. Well, Shawn doesn't have one yet, but he's going to have one of these days. Feel free to click on those links down below. If you join one of our channels, you'll get a Toy Frenzy sticker. And who knows, what else we might conjure up for you. But I'm about to send Thanos and John from Figuratively Speaking their paintings out tomorrow. So if you become a patron of this channel, I will make you a character painting. But if you don't have that money, it's a few bucks here and there. We totally understand. We just really appreciate you being here. It's not about that. Those funds help support the channel in a variety of ways, but it's really just about you all being here. We appreciate it so much, and you're all just such awesome people. So I mean that in the most sincerest possible way. And I'm saying that to Oz and Bobby and John right now too, with them being here. And it's amazing every Thursday that I get to come on here and talk to my friends, and I feel spoiled.
It's fun.
Yeah, I definitely have fun on here.
I'm really glad you're here, John. I'm feeling emotional today. I don't know what it is. I think it was that Wolverine photo.
Oh,
it's the tearjerker, I'm telling you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that brings us to a close, I guess. What else? Anything else?
Well, I mean, of course, as always, got Ostradamus Toys Live coming up this weekend, guys. Definitely check us out. As I said, I'm talking with Brick about doing some great things. And, we've got that huge show coming up. We're going to be doing our 1-year anniversary. We've got all kinds of shenanigans planned. Bobby's turning 50, so we're going to make a giant mountain that he's going to be climbing over, and then we're going to push him down. But
I need that cane with the little
the mirror at the bottom
with the horn on it.
Get
off the grass.
Get off my damn lawn.
I literally just did that. Oz, while you stepped out to get your coffee, somebody came and rang the doorbell, and I was like, go away. They were like kids trying to sell solar panels, whippersnappers.
Yeah, they stopped selling Girl Scout cookies, and they're like, "Come buy our solar energy."
It's 8 p.m. Who goes around trying to sell things to people at 8 p.m.?
Right, that's not right. That's not
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, definitely fantastic stuff is on the way.